YouTube, it's Brian Phillips and production crew today. We are going to show you this new thing. We're going to go fully unbox, build, and radio setup. You'll have to wait and see. It's supposed to fly radio-controlled airplanes, but it for sure works great as a simulator on the TV in your living room. And that's probably where it needs to live. But you'll understand after you watch our unbox, build, and radio setup. Thanks for being here with us. YouTube, we're here to unbox a package. So I have my knife like usual, but there's the box. It is a weird box, and I'm just gonna start out by saying, this is gonna be a weird thing. I'm still not even sure this is the thing that we should be doing, but we're going to be doing it. Oh God, I don't know. We're gonna have to pause and move it. So this is exactly how it came to the porch, okay? Now, admittedly, I'm not exactly sure if they plan to do this for everybody. They are? Okay. So look, latch, okay? Spring-loaded latch, spring-loaded latch, and spring-loaded latch, right? That's exactly how it came. No fixtures, no straps, no nothing. Not taped down, not secured with the lock, nothing.
They said they tested it.
Well, whoever they is should probably have strapped it shut. So, what do we have in here? We have what appears to be the controls from a helicopter or an airplane. And we're gonna open this up. We have seen tons of different footage. Actually, we haven't seen tons. We've seen very limited amount of footage about this, but the footage we've seen has given zero information about what to expect. And so in typical Brian Phillips fashion, we will take the simple and make it complicated.
Yes.
AKA, we're gonna actually show the steps instead of just assuming that you guys are mind reading, like, I don't know. It's just, these things come from China and they don't even like give instructions.
And those aren't going to come with theirs because you have to order whatever receivers and stuff that you need, as far as I understand.
These are receivers?
Lack of instructions.
Okay, so these are receivers. Okay, so these are receivers that evidently can be used.
Evidently.
So we'll learn more about that as we go. Guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we try to take the guesswork out of making big decisions. This is a very expensive item. Like I said earlier, right, just then, I said, I don't even know if we should be doing this. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw it, I said, that thing would be sweet for running simulators on the computer. On the computer. That's what I want to do with it, okay? Now, you might want to fly a real helicopter, like an RC helicopter, but you might also want to fly a real helicopter. And so my rationalization is that this is going to be in furtherance of the latter for me. I want to fly real helicopters. So I am going to set this thing up. Oh, it's so heavy.
It's really heavy.
It's heavy. I'm a strong guy and it's heavy. And so that's why I'm looking at this right now, okay? I'm not looking at it because I like FPV. I could care less about FPV, but you already know that because you've seen Brian Phillips RC videos before. That doesn't mean we've never done FPV stuff, but if you're into FPV, this is even greater for you. Okay, so we have some sort of a screen. Okay, this is packaged pretty good in here. I'm not sure exactly what. Ooh, it's a Wolfbush.
Yes.
Nothing like a Wolfbush. Might want to tame that thing. The bush.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Okay, so there's looks like a USB-C, a micro SD, and then probably a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then some sort of aluminum bracket, rudder, aileron, elevator, throttle, and then this looks like a receiver. One of those, I forget what they call those. Then there's a switch input with an SVGA plug, and then a DC input of 7 through 8.4 volts. So it'd be a 2S and then a USB-C and a headphone, or not a headphone, but an antenna plug. And then in this bag, we have a USB-A to USB-C. Again, not sure exactly what we're gonna do with all this crap. Oh, that's an antenna, and then there's a bolt. And then a couple of screen protectors, okay? So we've got screen protectors. This thing is, full disclosure, it's very expensive. Check the links in the video description below. There are times that we do items and I'm like dying to do them. And then there are times that we are dying to find out exactly what the heck is going on with the product. This is the latter, okay? I'm dying to figure out what's going on with this product. Because to be honest with you, I don't know if it is anything near what the hype is. And I tend to think that anytime we have simulator controls, it's kind of a cool, fun thing, but is it gonna be something do I want to control an airplane? I've spent years building muscle memory with my thumbs to fly them. Or a helicopter, same thing, maybe a little bit less. Do I want to go to a collective and a cyclic? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to find out though. And hopefully in doing so, we're going to teach you what you can expect from this product. And I have no idea. Obviously we have to build it and then we have to set it up. And this does not come fully assembled, but it does come with quite a bit more done than I expected. Okay, these are aluminum brackets. These are gonna hold, I believe they're just DIN rails. Yeah, it's like a multi-DIN. I forget what they call that when they've got both directions. But this thing, it's like a self-contained system. So it's not like you're just buying a simulator. You're buying the actual control system. You're buying the bench, the seat, the arm support, all that stuff. Which, by the way, if this is supposed to be simulating a helicopter, I still don't understand why they don't have a collective, like an e-brake lever with some sort of a throttle knob on it. Instead, they have a push throttle, which, you know, I don't think there is a helicopter that has that in it. Maybe there is. Maybe there are some helicopters that have, you know, basically jet engines mounted on top, but generally they're just spinning a turbine. Or rather, the turbine is spinning the output shaft, which spins the rotor, and then the rotor takes off power there's like a power takeoff that goes to the tail. Okay, so we're getting there. This is just kind of a different unbox because I'm not sure exactly how this is gonna come out. And we've done so many airplanes and helicopters, quads, VTOLs, that sort of thing, that we know how stuff comes out.
Are those bolted to the box?
No.
Okay.
No, this is loose. I just don't want to damage any of the wire. Okay, sweet. All right, well, first thing I can say is that this thing feels very heavy duty. It appears to be carbon fiber on the shaft, and then we've got this. This feels like it might be 3D printed, but it's of some sort of really strong, or maybe they made a mold that was 3D printed and then they filled it in. I'm not sure, but it feels like resin sort of. It's got texture to it. So it's, of course, there's no trigger. There is a thumb button. There's another thumb button. This is spring loaded. This is a momentary push button, so it locks in and locks out. aux 4, aux 5, and then aux 3. So you can make assignments. I wish there was a trigger on there. And then of course this is setting, okay, so the movement there. Oh, so here's the actual feed. That's the potentiometer that's telling its absolute position on the lateral direction, and then the potentiometer there on the forward and back. And this, by the way, this is spring return, and it looks to be adjustable in certain ways, maybe not others. It looks like you just have to replace the springs if you wanted to change the tension, because you can't lengthen or shorten that. But you could take that out and possibly lift it, because let's look at the bottom and see how that's fixed. Yeah, it's 4 screws. So if you did some standoffs, you could reduce the pressure. There might also be another way to reduce the pressure here. Not sure exactly what that's gonna look like. But then you can set your throws here and here. Maximum throws in and out. And that is just, I don't think, okay, so this is a dampener. So you can go up or down with your dampening. So as you increase or decrease that, it dampens more or it dampens less. Let's dampen a lot and see if it slows it way down. Oh yeah. That's all the way. Okay. And you can do that for both directions of travel. Okay, so there's a ball link on the top and a ball link on the bottom. So it looks like same scenario. You can dampen the controls. So you can better sit. Now you're gonna have to have some weight on this to actually hold that to preclude the dampener. The dampener's not gonna really feel like it's doing anything because you're gonna lift from the table if this isn't mounted down with some serious weight. So I'm gonna loosen this. I'm gonna reduce it. But you guys can see what I'm talking about. It doesn't have like a tendency to want to bounce real bad, okay? So then these are zip tied together. Oh, there's your SVGA cable. Looks like a DB9 housing. That's called a hood. And actually build these for work. There's definitely not enough wires in there to run that many connectors. So that is actually taking the signal from, nope, these are gonna come from the potentiometers, okay? And then 1, 2, so this is on, off, momentary, all these things. That's a really nice feeling potentiometer right there. It's actually really high quality. But I mean, it's an awkward spot to have a swivel because it's on a stick. I don't know if I would necessarily put that there if I was designing it myself. Okay, so just going along with the unbox, we're gonna continue. Oh yeah, that stuff is bolted to the side. Looks like they have a bolt on the outside and then they have a nut on the inside. So we'll have to loosen that after a bit. I think this whole thing will come out. Okay. So I'm gonna just pull this out next. Now keep in mind guys, you will not be able to put this back in the box once it's assembled. So you're gonna have a nice little display case for something. But here on Brian Phillips RC, we show the entire unbox build radio setup. That means that we show painstakingly all the steps it takes to actually do the thing. We don't just say a friend did it and look. I think we've maybe done that like twice in 11 years. I don't even think we've done that.
I mean, like we've flown.
I did one modification. We did a flap mod and then people asked about it. Okay, so this is like glued in here, I think.
What's in there?
I can't get it to pull out. Those could be lead joiners. I'm not sure. There's set screws in there.
Okay.
Allen wrenches and a box end wrench. Looks like some more kind of caps. Okay, so that'll likely go with those. And then if you could grab a nut sack. Oh, bolt sack, sorry. Grab that there and just kind of massage it. Yep. Here, this one's even
all the same.
Even bigger.
Oh, jeez. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, I mean, we knew we were going to put it together.
Yeah, we knew we were going to have to assemble this, so
I
it's
thought
not
we were
really.
going to put like all of this stuff together.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was concerned about too. Okay, so these are like thumb nuts that'll drop through and receive bolts.
Okay.
Now, when you see something like this, it's kind of ironic because it reminds me of my day job, and part of the responsibilities I have when I work on industrial scale systems and measurement systems is assembling stuff like this. So it's not hard to necessarily do it. It's just tedious and there's a lot of steps involved. By the way, special shout out to Sterling Kit. They put their sticker on here and we obviously work with Sterling Kit. So when you buy from links in the video description below, you're buying from brands that we find to be reputable. If they stop being reputable, we stop working with them. And there's been a couple. There's actually been 2 that we have sort of done that with. One screwed us and they actually still owe us money. And then they burn everybody they touch. The guys, anyway, it's a long story. But the other one is just, we heard way too much negative feedback and said goodbye.
Oh, well then there's 3 because I wasn't thinking of that first one that you said.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well then the other one, the battery people.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so the point is Sterling Kit has been very good. It's been a tumultuous couple of years with the tariffs and the different things, overseas going on. Not that there's not some good that could come from these things. It's been challenging in the hobby industry just because a lot of the stuff is made in Asia and I'm not just saying China, I mean Asia, the greater Asia area, Malaysia, the Philippines, all over
Taiwan,
Asia. Taiwan.
Korea.
Yep, that's right. So it's like when we talk about stuff coming from overseas, it's just been complicated. So we want to give credit where credit's due. And if you buy something from Alibaba, good luck. You're probably not going to get it, and you're going to get it there, and you're going to have duties, and it's going to be expensive, and you're going to be pissed off. So don't be surprised if you follow some rando link from some rando and you get screwed. Just, it's going to happen. So
And again, since this is kind of along the same vein, if it sounds too good to be true,
it is.
probably
Yeah,
is.
if it's like normally $2,000 and they show it as like $799, it's not.
that's not.
It's not real. Okay, so aluminum rails, black matte finish. You can show them the length of that there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is hollow in the center. Of course, these are going to be the components that hold together and kind of make the sitting station, and then of course the supports for the throttle, which I wish was a collective down here. Which, by the way, I mean, based on the way that they've designed this, there's nobody stopping you. You could make your own collective. One of the reasons I do appreciate this system, okay, and you're going to notice a hefty dose of skepticism from me on this. That is because it's very expensive and it's not a style of flying that I typically would push people into, okay? But I know there's people that enjoy this, and I know that there's a market and people do enjoy this sort of thing, okay? So I don't mean to take anything away from anybody else. By the way, in this hobby, there's a million ways we can enjoy this hobby.
Yeah.
We don't all have to agree on everything. So there might even be a time when I think something is sort of nonsense and you might love it. I should just come out right away and just say, if you love this, it's the best thing since sliced bread to you. I don't mean to take anything away from you. But I will be skeptical about things that I think are sort of a mismatch for the market. So we'll see how this turns out.
I mean, like we have a kid that enjoys, like he has some simulator gear. He does like VTOL VR and stuff like that. Microsoft Flight Sim.
Right, yeah, which I think is really cool. But you know what I won't probably be doing? I probably won't take a really good helicopter and tear out a perfectly good receiver with a perfectly good transmitter and then put in some rando thing and hope it doesn't crash.
Right.
I mean, I'm not like excited about that concept.
So we have to find a crappy helicopter to do that too?
No, we have to find a helicopter that's got a little bit of age on it.
Okay.
I kind of wish I had my other BO-105.
I know.
Because that'd be a good option. Because we had a gray one and we had, they're getting longer, different lengths here. It is quite a bit lighter now. This was a bulk of the weight, it looks like. So as you can see, it's distinctly different lengths, okay? So as you're pulling these out, my suggestion, just based on past experience when I've built machinery, which I do on a pretty routine basis, is just organize the parts as they come out of the packaging so that you can get a feel for what's needed. Definitely wear safety shoes.
Yeah.
And that way, if you drop the aluminum rods, you won't be injured.
So I'm staying over here.
Safety first.
I wore my safety shoes too.
Yep, that's right. So get everything lined up. Make sure that they're in similar, characteristically laid out
I feel like
lengths.
we should have 4 of those long ones. But I guess we'll find out.
No, not necessarily, because you're going to have, you're going to have 2 long ones that are going to go down the length.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have 4 shorter ones, okay? There's 4 shorter ones. And then you're going to have a variety of heights because you're going to have the differential between the 2. So we'll show how it goes together. Truthfully, we're not trying to catch anybody, give anybody a black eye. We assume this is probably going to work as expected. But the problem is, like, we don't know exactly how it works.
No.
And so because we couldn't figure it out, we're like, we're going to settle our curiosity on camera.
We've seen the same 4 Chinese videos you have.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of American ones too. But Tom set those up. So who knows what actually happened.
Oh.
Isn't that his name?
Is it?
So we have some receivers here. We have some receivers. These look like satellite receivers. And so just full disclosure, I know nothing about these satellite receivers. Are they FR Sky or what are they?
Yeah, I think they're ELRS.
They're ERLS. ELRS. Okay.
Like
so
Earls.
like Earls?
Yeah, you'll come up with some
So,
weird
but
word.
listen, ELRS is not DSMX.
Nope.
It's not FR Sky. It's not
Radio
Futaba.
Net.
FHSS.
Is it Radio Master?
I don't know.
See, someone will know. We just
So when people say things like ELRS, they're saying like DSMX is a protocol. DSM2 is a protocol. DSM is a protocol. It is a protocol by which the transmitter and the receiver talk to each other within a certain set of parameters, certain bandwidths, you know, all that stuff. It's all set up within there. Now, I don't want to speak out of turn because I'll be honest, I don't understand all the details about it. I just understand when you say protocol, it is a set of circumstances that have been earmarked, usually by an FCC approved actor like Spectrum or, you know, Lemon RX or Orange RX or whoever it happens to be. In this case, I might be, again, speaking out of turn there. They might have just done everything illegally. Who knows? But a lot of times when you get stuff from overseas, you're going to be getting stuff that is, frankly, you don't know. So in this case, that's a pretty popular style of transmission protocol. I just don't use it ever. Okay. So if you see me a little bit bamboozled by that, you'll understand why. And it's not because I'm a complete moron. It's just because I use DSMX predominantly, and we teach people to use what we're comfortable with. Now, why DSMX? Because that's what I started with. And no, it's not because I started working with Horizon. It's because I was doing it years before Horizon was ever working with us. Years before we were doing a YouTube channel. When I was a kid, that was the thing we used. Back when I had RC10s when I was a kid, that was what we used. It feels like this whole dang thing would come apart if I chose to do so.
It does. It looks like it.
Or maybe it's just broke. There's a washer right there too. So the pedals and this is the seat. This is the seat cushion and it's under the pedals, which are bolted down. So I'm gonna just try to slide that out. There's a couple of washers there on the ground.
Oh, and there's more.
Ooh, there's a nut over here. Look. Okay. Here, put your hand out. I'm gonna put my nuts in it. There. Oh, it's just one. Oh. Just one nut.
It's so tiny.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's heavy.
That's because there's more of those aluminum thingies under there.
Okay. But yeah, that is really heavy. Holy cow. That's gotta weigh like 20 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 6 of those. And yeah, we will, okay. Did I tell you about the Italian leather on the Porsche Carrera S4?
Yeah, recently.
Okay, so when I was a kid, when I say kid, I mean like a teenager, I was working for a company called Ramsey Pontiac in Des Moines, Iowa. And I accidentally cut the Italian leather on the seat of a Porsche a Carrera S4, which it's like 911, but it had a Targa top, so it was a glass top. The whole glass came back like a giant sunroof, moonroof sort of thing. Well, anyway, long story short, the salesman came back. I thought I was about to be murdered, and I took out the blade, and it was kind of like this, except it would have been a flat blade, flat like this. And I was very carefully pulling up this this is about half as thick as it was. It was some of the thickest plastic I've ever removed from a leather seat. And I lifted it and I went like this, like that to cut it. And it was a fresh, brand new blade. And that leather was just puffed enough that it caught the edge of the blade. And I'm a careful person. So I couldn't believe it happened. I just glanced at it. It was the softest Italian leather. It was beautiful. So anyway, they backed out of the deal. And that's why I survived.
Why you're still alive today.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So anyway, if you hadn't heard that story, that's a true story. It really did happen to me. Okay, so it looks like that is just not Italian leather. Yeah, it's slightly less, high quality than the Italian leather on the Porsche Carrera S4, which stands for four-wheel drive, I think. So I'm not like an aficionado in cars. Okay.
Oh, that's that
it's a
thing.
Mounting plate. This is probably one of the two. It looks like this one's probably the smaller one. Okay. So we'll eventually start laying this out. But anyway, long story short, that's where we are. That's kind of the rationalization that I'm operating under. Again, don't mean to take anything away from anybody. Obviously, we appreciate Sterling Kit for working with us on this project. They really wanted us to do it. We were sort of reluctant. That's one of the first and only times that's happened. Okay. Reluctance does not mean unwillingness. It's just we weren't sure that it was what our audience wanted. We try, actually. That's why we do all the ride-ons, because you guys love
because that's
those.
what you guys want.
It's like, give us another e-bike, Brian. Nope, never mind the e-bike. We want a kid's ride-on. I see it in the comments all the time. Full truth, nothing but the truth. Something like that. I don't know.
About the products, not about the comment.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Story time with Brian Phillips, not necessarily.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see we've got this giant array of stuff we got to assemble. There may come a time in this build where there is a fair amount of redundancy, where we're doing the same thing repetitively, and we won't necessarily bore you with that. I'm not sure how we're going to handle it, because this might actually have quite a bit of redundant stuff in it. I do not want to have to do this manually, but I am
trying to do it with the tools they provide.
Well, I'm just trying to show people that the tools exist, and not necessarily that we're going to do it that way. And I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking this is probably going to get a drill. This is going to be like drill, baby, drill kind of thing. Okay. By the way, today something crazy happened. Okay. I was cutting the hay, because what do you do when the sun shines? You cut hay.
Make hay.
So make hay when the sun shines.
Sun shines.
Just say the whole thing.
Make hay when the sun shines.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I was trying to do that. Trying.
The sun was shining.
And then I pulled up from one of my death cuts, and unbeknownst to me, the entire glass blew up. Like that. And I said, "Whoa," and it was the word I can't repeat on this channel. Well, I can, but am I gonna? It was a bad one. It was just very few letters. But anyway, I said, what just happened? And I don't think a rock threw. I was using my drum mower, because I was cutting the hay, and then I was like, hey, I can go down into the, next to the water, and I can cut this, whatever millions of trees.
Willow trees.
Because if you don't do it, it will just get out of hand. Well, anyway, so it's been kind of a weird day.
It got out of hand, but not because of the trees.
No, actually I made really good time. I was a few hours into it, and I've got some poor guy waiting for hay so he can feed his cows. And you may not realize this, but believe it or not, there is more going on in our world than just RC. It doesn't look like that, but the truth is, set screws, okay? There's a lot going on. And part of the challenge that we've faced, and this is something that we faced predominantly since we moved from our old property, which was in town. It was a much simpler existence, a lot less money tied up in that, obviously, is that there is a lot to take care of when you're building an aerodrome, especially when you're building a building, because that building is ridiculous. It's like the most expensive thing we've ever done in our lives. And we've done some expensive things. But it's also, and I'm not just talking about money, but that.
Time.
I'm talking about time. I'm talking about considerations.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened, 10 millimeters and 8 millimeters, is that while we were making this real world dream come true for me, right? For me,
right?
Mostly.
Yes.
There's so many different nuances that we have had to learn about life and how to run an agricultural operation. We never wanted to do that. We never wanted to be farmers. And yet we own two of them now. It is ridiculous the amount of effort and labor that goes into running a farm. It is insane. If you're a farmer and you make money at it, congratulations, you are a genius.
Yes.
I just tend to lose thousands upon thousands of dollars every time I try to do anything. Namely, today I think I lost about $700 on a piece of glass.
It's okay, because you picked a really nice day to do it. It was only like 95 degrees.
Yeah. So it's no big deal. So anyway, this little side note into Brian Phillips RC's real world is just to help remind you when you see us involved in these projects, and like I get all pissy because like I have to, put the control horns in. You might understand. This hobby serves more than just people in our stage of life, which is it's a crazy, hectic stage of life with young kids and kids that are not so young anymore.
Yeah.
And
mostly that.
everything in between. Show them, give them a high shot, please, so they can see what's going on, please. Thank you. So I've got the nuts in my right hand. I've got a washer in my right hand. I'm not sure if we're gonna have to reuse them, so I'm gonna be careful to maintain them. I did drop one of the washers. It was only one.
So you were just holding onto
Yeah, I was just holding on to it. So Camera Crew's gonna show you, and then there is a bolt here, but watch what's gonna happen. When I let go of that, it's just gonna pop down.
Okay.
It's not an uncommon way to ship industrial stuff, high quality materials. And when I say high quality, this is still kind of a chintzy box, if you ask me. But it's held in here with tools, okay? With hardware. That's a better way of putting it, sorry. When we got our balers from India, yes, we ordered them directly from India.
Yes.
Because the alternative was from China, which we did not have success communicating with China.
No.
And from India, I was dealing with the owner of the company. And it was awesome. And they really took good care of us. I think he thought we were going to sell like millions of them.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We kind of didn't.
He was really nice.
He was really nice. And by the way, super nice piece of equipment, and yet it is still a baler. And if you know anything about baling hay, they break every time you touch them, or look at them, or think about looking at them.
Great, now it's broken because we talked about it.
I know, sorry. So dividends, that is the throttle control. And as you can see, that goes out and pivots. And so they have a dampener on this as well. So that's an interesting way of doing things. And then it turns this potentiometer system as well. And of course, we're gonna be able to clip this. Nice protective sheath here, sleeve, okay? So anyway, getting back to Brian Phillips' story time, because as you can see, we're gonna plug that into the controller. And I don't know if you guys connected the dots. That's gonna go to throttle. So of course, it's eventually going to plug into this connector, and that's gonna be the way that goes, okay? But Brian Phillips' story time is gonna continue. So I blew up this window, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm lucky to be alive. I mean, seriously, it was scary because I didn't know it was coming, and it took all of like a fraction of a second to happen. And I mean, this is a huge piece of glass. It's like bigger than a windshield, and it was like this far from my head, And I mean, it's not like I'm sitting there rocking safety glasses, although I probably should have been. And so I survived. And that's the moral of the story is, remember, get out there. If you decide to build an aerodrome, just remember, it's not as easy as it looks, it's not as cheap as it looks, and it's certainly not gonna be as fast as you want it to be. And when I say fast, I mean, we're 7 years deep in this project, right?
Right. You were talking about the baler, when we ordered the baler.
So yeah, so we ordered the baler, and the packaging, and by the way, I think we did an unbox on that.
We did.
Yeah, but at the time, guys, there's a nut and a washer, okay? Pretty cool. But we got that in some insanely heavy duty packaging, and we did LCL, freight forwarded. That was an LCL, less than a container load. So just like LTL, less than a truckload. But in this case, it's less than a container, and we had a 20-foot shipping container that was shipped with just our stuff in it. So they didn't end up booking any other work for that particular container. It mostly filled it. And you've never seen more insane packaging than the Indians.
Yeah, it was nuts.
They used, and it was like in America, when we send like a tube of steel, it's like hollow, mostly hollow. When they send a tube, they have a tiny little like straw-sized hole and then like all solid steel. Because they must have like some like discount on steel in India. But I was super impressed with it. It was really cool. And so when I look at this, it kind of makes me think, if we would have got a Chinese baler, or an Italian baler, which is the other company that does a lot of them. The Italian baler would have cost more than the family car, and we were able to get all the stuff we needed for like about a third the cost of the family car.
Yeah.
And then the tractor we needed to buy too. But the packaging was phenomenal. It was crazy. And then after the company sent me an email at some point, and they're like, oh, we screwed up. We were supposed to charge you like $500 for like rodent resistance spraying or something on your packaging. And that was when I learned about freight forwarding, which is a terrible, terrible thing that you may have to do someday. If you ever decide to ship anything international and you don't know what you're doing, just Trust me, you don't want to do it. It's a giant pain in the butt.
Yes.
It took us like 6 months, 4,000 emails, lots of money, lots of money. It wasn't even that much money. It was like a few $1,000s. But it was just like, and then by the way, when the federal government holds your stuff at port, you have to pay if they decide to take too long to store it for how long you stored it at their depot. And you're also on the hook for anything they find that they don't like, and you're guilty until proven innocent.
We were on like the last ship out of India before
6 days
COVID.
before Newark closed for COVID.
For COVID.
So, which is a whole nother story. Okay, so we got some more, cable extension cable too. And some more brackets. We'll open that.
Okay.
But anyway, so I guess my point is this. It's kind of like a refresher course in reality here. Brian Phillips RC may make things look fun and easy. That's why our videos are like 40 hours long.
Yeah.
But the truth is, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that helps lead up to these super short videos. So if you didn't already know that, I wouldn't be cutting hay if I wasn't building a runway. I wouldn't need to cut hay if I wasn't building a runway. I wouldn't need to cut hay if I wasn't building a damn gift shop. I wouldn't need a dam if I wasn't building a runway. I wouldn't need a dam if I didn't need the water to demonstrate products on water. So what's happened is one thing led to another, and then that leads us to where we are now, which is we're opening a simulator for helicopters. And you're probably thinking to yourself, so are you saying if I get into this hobby, I might become obsessively, relentlessly, I kind of added the relentlessly in there because it's like mid-American, but you may become obsessed. And so I should warn you, I knew I was going somewhere with that short story. And that is, yeah, the answer is yeah, you might. You might someday find yourself opening a container that's been halfway across the literal planet and then some on your kitchen counter. So just be prepared. Follow the links in the video description below. And it's kind of funny, I was at a hobby shop and this guy, his name is Rick, he used to work on a routine. I think he owned the shop at one point, and he's retired now. But he flew full scale and he was a really good pilot. He was one of these guys that would demo the product right there in the store and it would make you want to buy it even though you're like, I know I can't do that crap. And he said, just remember it's a gateway drug. That's what he would always say. And, you know, I knew what he was saying because I mean, he was preaching to the choir because like I knew these things. But he was right and he proved himself right many times with that gateway drug comment. So just keep in mind, when you see us opening a Sport Cub SUMX, or, you know, what do we do? Just the OV5, OV10,
the Bronco.
OV5. Yeah, when you see us doing a plane like that and you think, hey, I could get that, not get addicted. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I can control it. Yeah, okay.
I saw somebody on Facebook the other day. He's like, I don't understand. Like, I'm just going to get like 3 planes. And everybody in the comments was like, yeah, no, it's not the way
that was one of the many exaggerations that I told my wife.
Yeah.
At the time, I was being genuinely honest because, okay, so I released the bolts kind of in a stupid order, but I couldn't get to the middle. So I can probably put this back down.
Okay.
So now I can reach under the fork pockets. And by the way, note to self, anybody designing fork pockets, do not put bolts down into the fork pockets, okay? Because that's how they get ripped off in transit. Because I guarantee the guy at the freight company does not care about your freight. Not like you. I see them break buckets like loader buckets that are as big as this island at the freight companies.
How you break them.
They do.
I know.
They break everything. So anyway, just remember, however dumb you think the situation might get, it's going to get dumber. And this is from personal experience, watching it happen, not guesswork. Okay. All right. So this is the pedal set. Now I am actually quite excited about the pedal set. Okay. So we have a left-right swivel. I believe this is a pedal set. Oh yeah, there's a ton of resistance on there. Very strong spring, okay? Which makes sense because you're gonna have your feet on here, okay? Now this, of course, goes through the potentiometer, and the potentiometer is going to go out to this cable. Of course, this cable is tidily tied up, and we're going to undo the zip ties so that we can guide this up to the docking station or whatever we want to call it, the mothership. Okay.
Does it have the same dampener thing on it?
Yeah, it does. They all have the same dampener. It looks like you've got a maximum throw setting. Now, the other thing too is this is designed so that you can set it up to your body type, okay? Unless you're like really big or really small, okay? So I'm a little bit concerned in that regard too, because I'm an American and I'm not small. And the Chinese folks tend to be a little smaller than the Americans. And so as a result, I'm a little bit concerned. I checked, there was no like animals or paraphernalia in here.
No like cheeseburger wrappers or anything?
No, there was nothing illicit.
Okay.
But it does still feel very heavy.
Well, the bottom is just...
Yeah, but it feels heavier than that. Like, is there a false bottom in this? No, it's just this wood. They made the legs out of plywood, which is really weird. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some free advice from somebody who's handled a lot of freight in his life, okay? When you're done handling this freight, because this is freight, okay? I'm gonna tell you one suggestion. You might wanna go to your nearest sink and wash off whatever disgusting anti-bug chemical agent that they were forced to use on that.
Oh.
And they are. So I'm not just talking about the dust, debris, disgusting stuff. I'm talking about whatever that's like pesticide is. Because they have to bake that stuff before it goes overseas.
They have to bake it to kill the bugs?
They have to either bake it or they have to use a, it's like a pest control agent. So basically, this is what comes in that singular crate, okay? Now these admittedly don't necessarily, but I suppose you could order them. I have no idea.
I'm hoping we can link to whatever we end up needing to use. Hopefully.
We will, and that's one of the things we try to do, guys. In fact, we had an opportunity to do the X-Fly, and we did do the X-Fly. We did a short video for them.
The X-Wing.
Huh? The X-Wing.
X-Wing.
Sorry, not the X-Fly. The X-Wing, okay? And we initially turned them down because we were like, you know, we don't like to bait our audience with stuff they can't get, okay? For a variety of factors, but not the least of which is like, we think it's kind of frustrating to show things that you actually can't get. And it's one thing to film products, you know, in preparation, but it's a whole nother thing to film things that you can't.
Or things that are like pre-order, like you have to pre-order it.
It's
what
rubbery.
Is that? I know, that was weird.
Yeah, it's all soft.
It's definitely 3D printed.
Okay. And then this is some sort of strap. Okay, so it must be a battery strap probably. So yeah, we are reluctant to show things that people cannot order, even though there are occasions that we, early on in our channel, we kind of had this running joke that it was the discontinued special.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so XT60 male to female. That's the male, that's the female. How do we know? Because when you stick them together, then they fit.
You get XT30s.
You could. All right, so now that we have all the pieces out, everybody in the room should be able to say, ooh and ah. But we have to figure out how the heck this is all gonna mount together. Now, I can tell you right now, this antenna is gonna go on this thing, okay? That part I can figure out, all on my own. Okay, show the people the antenna. It's a circuit board with the antenna inside of it, and then this, okay? This is gonna go in here. It's gonna screw in. Okay, very good. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so that's in. Now, note that this did not come with a battery, okay? That I can tell. It might also have a battery. There is a scrolly, clicky, and scroll, telemetry, page left, page right, MDL, system 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then return, okay? There's also a power button here. I'm gonna press power, see if it turns on. Maybe this has a rechargeable battery in it. As expected, it does not have a rechargeable battery. This runs on 2S. So let me see if I've got a 2S handy. I do not know if I have a 2S handy, hon. Do we have a 2S?
I'm not sure.
We'll find one. Okay, so this is the most rando battery I grabbed immediately. It's all puffed up and nasty. Incidentally, there's a couple of these at the bottom of our pond.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 5200, 50C, nothing special about it. It just happens to be 2 cells, okay? So 2 cells, this is at 76% charge. So we're right in the sweet spot of the voltage that this thing expects. And so I'm gonna just plug this into the battery and then see if it turns on. So I'm gonna reach back here, press the button.
Yep, we got lights.
I press the button here. Do I have to press it for a little bit or is it turning on? Pressing and holding and then letting go. So this is Edge. Welcome to Edge TX. Okay, so this is evidently, I didn't mean to hit system, but I did. So as you can see, we've got, okay, so there it is. So looks like we have a model on here. These trims, oh, is this a touchscreen? I don't know. But there appears to be some sort of a way to do this. I'm not sure how, but we'll find out. This says return, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. That would be for different screens. It's really hard to see this because this makes it hard to see what these buttons say. MDL, so that's model. Page left and page right, you can see up here, helitype. Okay. Then you can hit page back. This is just left and right. Okay. Then telemetry. Oh, good. Okay, good. So that's good. System. So yes, you can scroll. Ah, DSM, forward programming, V2. Ooh. Look at that. Okay, so we'll see if any of this crap works. PID, PID, DSM. Okay. Looks like we've got some of that stuff in there already. And then over here, we've got the back button. So if you scroll to the left, nothing. Scroll to the right, nothing. I'm gonna click, and then you can scroll like this, okay? All right, so basically what we're dealing with is a transmitter. I'm gonna de-energize it because I don't care at this point. But that is a transmitter, and it's going to be transmitting as though this was a transmitter because it is going to be the gimbal of your transmitter, okay? Whereas you would have the gimbals right here on a standard transmitter. This just happens to be a gigantic transmitter, okay? So our next move is to read through, peruse the manual. We will see kind of what they recommend for layout, for spacing out all the machine pieces, okay? We're gonna see how we feel about that, and then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna implement it next. But we need a minute to read off camera, and then we'll share our findings when we come back. All right, so all manuals in good commonsensical English written manuals open from this direction.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. So as you can see, there's information here. This is what you can't find online. Trust me, we tried. This is the instructions, okay? So they show this corner piece like this. You're gonna have an assembly that has a screw, a washer, and then a nut, and so on and so forth, okay? Pretty simple stuff there, but the way it goes together is that these things, well, we're just gonna build it. But we're gonna show you how the instructions show so you can figure out how Terabelt's gonna be. 140 millimeters. So just get out your metric wrench, your metric measuring. Hold this up higher, please. And we're gonna basically lay it out like this. Then we're gonna do this, which is the next step. And then we're gonna mount it on there, and so on and so forth, until you end up with a piano bench. And then these are joining them together, okay? So it looks like a relatively simple build. It's just gonna take some effort to actually get to the point of doing all of it. It's not an especially difficult thing. So there's a control display and a video display interface. So you can actually change to, you can change to a video feed, okay? Oh boy. Yeah, ELRS, elevator. What is ELRS?
It's Express LRS.
Oh, thank you. Okay. The way they did that, I was like, I wonder if that is channel mapping. This is going to show you how to do this stuff. Okay. Now you've seen the whole manual. You saw it here first on Brian Phillips RC. Now, just a suggestion, whoever builds these, just put the staple on this side.
Yes.
And then it would actually be correct.
Then it would work. It's more fun to do it backwards and upside down.
Can I just do it? Can I just do it? But then it would be so much less exciting if the manual was stapled together on the correct side. Because the binding would then, it would work properly for the page numbers and everything.
The pages aren't numbered. Are you kidding me? Do you think they number the pages?
I'm hoping that this is just a fluke incident, but I'm not holding my breath.
You can hope.
I hope, and I'm gonna be let down.
Yeah.
But the truth is, this build will be a relatively basic build. It's just a lot of steps. So what we're probably gonna do is we're probably gonna go ahead and just get the layout done. And then we're gonna start by putting a couple of the parts together. We'll show you exactly how that goes. So we'll pause. All right, so I've got nitro gloves on, just so you can make fun of me now. Put in the comments how dorky that is, but that's what I do. We've got the soft rubbery pieces. These are gonna be like cable holders, and then something, probably the battery holder or something. But then we have caps. So I'm trying to put this in reverse order. We're gonna build over here. So we've got all this stuff laid out in nice piles. They're all the same parts then, so it'll be easier, quicker to grab. Just be careful. These set screws like to run away from you, the grub screws. And this one is the one for mounting the display. Okay, and then these are the joiners. Again, finished goods are over here. Starting goods are over here. The camera crew went through and marked the lengths, okay? So we can start laying this thing out as we go. So the first step is we have to build this assembly, okay? Now, you'll notice when it's stapled on the right side, the build goes in the correct order instead of the incorrect order.
It's easier that way.
Okay? So Wolfbush, see?
Staples on the left.
All right, so now the first step, of course, is gonna be figure out what parts you need. So we need a 4.7 inch. That's a 4.7 inches.
Well,
Have you ever measured an English standard? 4.3. Is this really 4.7?
4.7.
That's 4 and 3/4. So that is not 4.7.
That's what Google told me. So.
Well, 120 millimeters is not equivalent to
Close
4.7 inches, just to be clear. 24 inches is the next one we need. So it should be like probably one. Oh, it is the longest ones. Yeah, so 24. Okay, so we need 2 of those.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pay special attention to which one over and underlaps, okay? Because if you over and underlap wrong, you're gonna have to go back and redo all this. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna build this corner piece. So you notice there's a little bit of a key that goes up And that's gonna lock in to that point, just like that. And same thing here, and it's gonna go just like this, okay? So it's pretty simple how it goes together, but you have to slide the components together. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a regular bolt like this in this application. You're gonna take a regular washer. Now, if you didn't know this, there is a right way and a wrong way. That is the side that you should penetrate, okay? This is the wrong way, okay? See how that's cut like that. So it's got the smooth edge. This is the sharp edge, okay? If you decide to do it backward, then the whole thing will fall apart in a million pieces.
And everybody dies.
And everybody dies, obviously. It's kind of a joke, guys, but still. Okay? So now we're gonna pass this through, and then this doohickey gets started just like that, okay? Pretty simple. And then once you do that twice, and then you have to slide that into this rail system, okay? Just like that. And you see how it spun? So that's one of the difficulties of using this type of assembly, is that they're gonna wanna disassociate from one another every sinking time until you start twisting. And so what you'll do is you'll hold your finger and give yourself somewhere to land it, and look what happens. It eventually turns to where it gets pressure and it holds in place, okay? Now, how does it do it? By voodoo magic. So you see what I did here? I pulled that inboard from the edge, so it's not in the corner. Why? Because then, okay, once that's torqued, then I can do the same thing there. If you go inboard here, you won't be able to get your other bolt to fit, okay? All right, so then what we have to do is just repeat that process 4 billion times.
Great.
So we will pause. Well, no, we'll get the first portion of this rack design together, and we'll let you watch the progression, and then you can figure out about how long you think it's gonna take, and I'll give you some more suffering from dialogue from Brian Phillips RC. Okay, so we'll slide that on. So you don't wanna go too many turns. Once you have it started, then you can just take your fingertip and you can guide it into the hole. And remember, this is where you double check your overlap, underlap. Make sure you got it right. And now this one's not as critical as to whether you go into the corner or not, because really all you got to do is just make sure you got clearance, okay? But you can see one of the problems you're going to have is that this is going to hit every freaking time that you go to twist it, okay? So if you're anything like me and you get annoyed with that, then just go down to your grinder and cut off 1/4 inch. But when you get ready to do your final torque, then you can flatten this on the table and then just work it. Now keep in mind, I'm just gonna warn you guys, anybody doing this on your wife's counter, be careful, there's little shards of metal in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is clean, that is not. That's a shard of metal. That's part of the reason why I wear gloves, is because I know stuff like that happens. It's pretty standard in the manufacturing process. And so I'm not surprised at all by it. And if you work in manufacturing, you'll understand. I work in manufacturing, so I understand. If you don't understand because you don't work in manufacturing, you might want to take my advice. Wear gloves.
You should have worn your orange gloves.
It would have made it easier to see. I know. Okay, so turn that, then slide it in. And as you can see, what's going to happen is as we get a little bit deeper into this build, it's eventually going to get harder and harder to be able to get your tools into the right places, okay? So now you saw what I did there. I squared that up so that it was in the center of the pocket, and I also flushed it. So it's flush to my thumb so that this is flush. Then I'm gonna turn this till it's tight, then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give it a good turn. Now, there's somebody out there thinking, but Brian, what about Loctite? And to that, I would say, are you kidding me? Because I'm not using no stinking Loctite. If you want to use Loctite on yours, you go right ahead. That being said, this is not exactly a high-speed apparatus. It's going to be carried to and from the flying field or whatever. Okay. Now, look, if it's there, look, it also fits there. Look, it also fits there. That's the third. Now that's the fourth side. And as you can see, it holds the thing together just really nicely. And a ball link or a ball end would make this even easier to do. But you can also go in there with your fingertips and just twist it, okay? Go a little further, out, Megan, out from your body, this way. Do you see my fingers? The fingertips? Right there. There it is. You guys see? When you turn that, you can use your fingertips to do it. You don't have to use the tool. Now, once you've torqued this, I want to show you one other trick, okay? So torque this down, tighten it really tight. Now, believe it or not, I install stuff in the industrial marketplace where I have 8 screws on each face. It is tedious, okay? Check for squareness. If it's not square, make it so. Check for level, you're good to go, okay? So now that can sit there. If it teeters, it will continue to teeter until you do something about it. So my suggestion is you do something about it earlier than later, okay? So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna move on to the next step, which is gonna look exactly the same, except it's gonna be different components, okay? For that reason, we'll probably pick back up when we include a new type of piece. So we'll pause and come back. All right, so I said I'd pick back up at this spot, and I just wanted to show you on this instruction, that's where this destruction step, okay? That's where we're gonna put the foot pedals or the foot pads or whatever they are. Okay, so check this out. When you're putting these on, it's supposed to be directly in line with those, okay? They don't really give you an exact position here, but you can tell from the overlap of these on the drawings, okay? But then over here, you got to figure out how am I going to mount this down? It's a different type of assembly than what we've got here. You know, where you've got a hex drive and then a washer and then this little doohickey. Well, on these, it's set up a little different. You put one of these flat pan heads machine screws through, and then you grab one of these nut zert thingies and you put it in most of the way and then back it off just a hair, okay? Now you're probably thinking, but how do you get that all the way in there? Do you have to slide it all the way in? You can, but there's another way to do it, and that is you take either this or we grabbed a standard equivalent, which happens to be a different size.
It's a 3/16.
It's a 3/16, but this is a different metric size. But watch this, when you go backward, oop, different size. Different size. Different size drive, guys. Didn't even notice. So you'll grab your other screwdriver, or not screwdriver, hex key, put it in there, back it off or lift it and relieve it, put it all the way through, whatever direction it takes to get that thing to purchase so that you can actually twist. Do I have the wrong? No, I have the right size. See how it's spinning? Spin until it's flat, and then that'll drop in there, okay? See how it dropped in? So then line it up like you see in the drawing. Looks like this is actually inboard of the edge is the way they're calling it out. So then you can give this a couple of turns. Well, just don't get too far ahead of yourself because you got to get this one dropped in. And of course you got to do these, okay? So don't do those first because then you can't get this thing in there, right? So the way you got to do it is you got to start with all 4 of the assemblies prepped and ready, okay? So put your bolt through. They don't even show a detail of this anywhere, which is bizarre. They actually go about 7 steps later. They talk about what to use, but it doesn't actually explain how to do it, okay? I mean, it's not rocket science, really, unless this, I guess you could be flying a rocket ship and then this would be rocket science. So you feed that through the hole, put the nut zert in, put it till it's tight, and then just go back just a little teeny bit. And if you're nice to yourself, you'll twist them vertical, all 4 of them. Trust me, they'll do whatever they want as soon as you move. And then once you get that to drop down in the pocket, then you're golden. Now, yes, you can turn them from above, but once you get 3 or 4 of them, it gets to being pretty awkward, folks. And if you don't have them spaced out right, you'll have to readjust your spacing too. but I already know that our spacing is fine. But you can see it's just kind of a little bit tedious. Once you get it lined up, it's no big deal. It will drop in and it will work. So I'm gonna torque this one down just a little bit. This is supposed to be flush here, which I don't quite understand. I'd want to catch the edge myself, but we must have something mounting onto that later, okay? So that one's torqued down a little bit, Now we can fight this by going in there. You see how it's not wanting to spin? So just straighten it up. And then if you do genuinely have a problem with your dimensions, then you can back this off. And this ball end of the not provided tool is really handy for this step. Then I can break it free, but then I can work it from back here at an angle, which makes it a lot easier, see? Now that that's free, I can walk this in and out until everything drops together, okay? So then just to show you how this works, then once that's dropped down, you just spin it. And you're like, well, how does it not just spin infinitely inside? Well, because eventually it wants to go the same direction, then it catches. And it actually works pretty good. I mean, it's surprisingly easy to do. Obviously, it's a whole lot of them to do, but it is definitely not super bad. I cannot tell what size that, 4 millimeters. The bigger one is, just so you know, that's a 5 millimeter, and then this one's probably a 3 millimeter. And it does not appear to be printed. Okay, so you have to take my word for it. Then once you get this located, then like I suggested, you go all the way to the outboard portion, and you see how this isn't flush. That's at a bit of an uphill. That's not a big deal, but it might pay dividends on the wrong piece, so just try to get those as flush as possible, okay? And then I can get in there and just really torque them down. Okay, so that's how we do it. Now, looking at the instructions, let's just look together, camera crew. Looks like the next step is to build some verticals. It's the exact same process. We just turn those things in and go upright. So why don't we do part of the vertical assembly, and we will do that real quick. We got 15.3 inches. So you pick me a 15.3 inch, any of them. So we have a 15.3 there. So then you take your pre-assembled thingy, okay? You look at your drawing, you get yourself coordinated. So it's gonna go on that side. Oh shoot, we gotta put the other foot support thingy on. So this will go right here, like that. And look, mine's damaged. It's got a big old gouge. Show them up close with your fingernail. See that?
Oh yeah, that's sharp too.
So a couple things you can do if you find something like that. You can either hit it with an X-Acto knife or a knife if it's a real small divot like that, or you can just take your wife's counter and just rub it off of there, and then that sharp edge is gone. Or you can do that. But I just wanted that to be gone. Now I'll flip it upside down, because that'll mar the finish if you're not careful, okay? So that's the way that's gonna go. It is inboard of this according to the drawing, so I'm assuming later in the assembly there's gonna be a vertical post there. So don't overlap it for that structural rigidity and support that you would want it to have, because it needs to be there. Now the other thing is this has a little bit of a curve to it. So my preference would actually go this way. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Okay, so then in order to set this up, again, you just grab from your pile, you get your 4 screws, you get those ready to rock and roll, you drop them in, and then you get your 4 retainer nuts. And these 4 retainer nuts, there is no washer on this because you want to try to keep it as low profile as possible. But they never actually tell you that in the manual. You just sort of assume it by figuring it out by the fact that there's no picture of it anywhere.
Right.
Okay. That would be one of those things where it'd be nice if they'd mention it. It's actually a pretty good manual. It's color. It's reasonably easy to read. It does appear to be in English, and it's not like Janglish. It's, you know, or Changlish.
There's not a whole lot of words.
Yeah, right.
It's mostly just pictures.
It's mostly just pictures, but I'm okay with pictures, you know?
We'll see when it comes to the radio setup how good it is.
Well, I'll be honest with you. The radio setup's not gonna be that big a deal. You make the controls do whatever the controls on the aircraft did. Now, if you're flying a flight controller equipped plane or helicopter, you know, like a fly wing that you would be getting when you fly something like this a lot of times, then you're gonna have a flight controller that's gonna do the vast majority of the flying anyway. This is just gonna be like, you're gonna be making a vote on what happens to the helicopter or whatever. So in that case, I don't see it really being a big deal. Get those kind of halfway lined up. Drop it in. And it's not falling, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and just spin them until they do, or back them off until they do. That one feels pretty good. If you come in here, you can get them flipped by putting it in underneath like this and just kind of pulling it in. That'll get it lined up as well. And then you can also pick them up and see that one's not lined up. So just get in there with your Allen and just twist it until it's about lined up. Once it's about lined up, that's when you can start getting frustrated and throwing things. But before that, it's not allowed.
Okay.
You have to wait until it's really bad.
Well, and that one is spaced for you, so it should be pretty close.
Yeah, it should be, but shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there is no guarantees in life that things are gonna be easy. And inject to that RC enthusiasm. And you're almost guaranteed that it's gonna be a giant pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. So you can see I'm struggling to get these lined up, but I will eventually get them. And yes, you could hit it with hammers and things like that, but it's usually doesn't really help much. Just full disclosure, my experience is that you usually just have to adjust things. So this one's not wanting to drop, and so because it's not dropping, I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So loosen this. I've already torqued mine down thinking it was about right. So I'm gonna loosen that. Once that's loose, not enough, loosen it some more. That's gonna allow this to check in and out, and then it drops, okay? So just keep in mind, the moral of the story is if you torque everything down prematurely, you might be untorquing them, but my preference would be try to get it right the first time if you possibly can, and give her heck, you know? That's a shallow hole, by the way. I did mar that pretty good when I did that. Okay, so now we were getting ready to do the vertical portion. And so there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 15.3 inch pieces. Whatever 15.3 is, I think that's 15.3 something.
Well, I just put everything in Google and none of them are close enough to each other that have, like, as long as you're close, you'll figure out which piece.
So what you do when you do in Google, you say millimeters to fractional inches. Okay, so slide that on if you want, and you can drop it down. Now you don't have to do it that way. You can actually just feed it on there, and I'll show you on the next example. So this one's gonna be vertical, and you do have to pay special attention to this because I have it in the same orientation, and you can tell that it's going here, okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
And so once you get that in the right position, then you can give this a couple of twists, and it'll walk right into its home position. But just keep in mind, you gotta get everything tucked in nicely. Because if you don't tuck it in nicely, it will not end up nicely. It will end up meanly.
That's what your problem is.
Yes.
Nobody tucked you in.
No. Okay, so that's torqued. And then this is torqued, okay? And then I'm gonna come back and torque this again. Now I wanna show you the other method. I would not slide them like that if you don't have to.
Okay.
Because that's a good way to scratch the counter. Okay, so this is gonna go here, right? But we don't know how far. How do we not know?
Well, that's a good question.
That's not a trick question. It's a very simple question. We have to know what the spacing is gonna be at the top, okay? So the way to tell what the spacing at the top is gonna be is we have to come up with an actual drawing. Now, why do they show it there and then they show it here as well? Are we supposed to double it up? That doesn't even make sense.
No, and that's not the same because these are 300 millimeter ones and this is 390. This is like the beginning of the bench thing.
Okay, so we have to go to the next instructions until we figure out what the gap is because they don't tell us. Like, how are we supposed to know through osmosis? Looks like that's where the transmitter stuff is gonna go. Yeah, that's where the throttle is gonna go. Okay, right?
Yes.
Because this is gonna extend out and the seat's gonna be back here. This is gonna be where the throttle is, okay? So now what we have to do is we have to take and get the throttle. I was gonna show you one other method, so we'll go ahead and stay on camera for a minute. This is the throttle. We'll just grab this. This is gonna dictate how wide this needs to be, okay? That's where that's gonna go. Like, how are you supposed to just know that? Okay, so that's where that's gonna go. That's gonna be close enough because you've got enough room you can make your move. Okay, so now the alternative method to what I showed you from sliding it on is you can just put this straight in and straight down. Hold everything true, okay? Start with the flat one, not the one that's vertical because that one's gonna wanna fall. Okay, so that's torqued down just a little bit. Then bring this in and pull that up by the head. Okay, grab the head. You see that ball link, that ball end, how handy that is now? That would have been a real bear cat with this one. You'd been in and out 14 times. Now I'm admittedly torquing them down with this at times. Okay, don't let this walk on you, it will. You can also hold this at the end of the shaft for extra leverage if you need to. Just wherever you need to grab the shaft, grab it. Not tight, not even close. Come on, man, tighten up. So here, welcome to Brian Phillips RC. This is what we do. We build stuff. We talk about how difficult it is and complain sometimes. But generally speaking, we're gonna show you the process start to finish. Now on something like this, admittedly, we are gonna pause while we're doing some of the busy work, like doing the exact same thing right there. We don't mean to cut corners so that you guys can't figure it out on your own, but the truth is figuring out how to bolt this thing together is not really the premium thing that we're doing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set this up so that it works, okay? When I say we're not gonna leave you high and dry, I don't mean we're gonna show every bolt being driven in, although we do many times show every bolt being driven in. That's usually when we got 4 or 5 bolts, not when we have
45 bolts.
Or 65. Yeah, that takes a little bit too long. And it's harder for us on camera too. So we're gonna go ahead and get the other verticals done and we'll come back after we get that. All right, so now that we have verified that this throttle is gonna fit up here, we need to mount these vertical or these horizontal supports. Now I wanna show you something here. See how these are imperfectly lined up? You can pull them, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, put that on. You can slide this in. I just wanted to show you because this is a different mounting technique to a certain extent when they're upside down and backward like this. So we want you to be able to follow along the steps on Brian Phillips RC. Sometimes it's tedious, but at the end of the day, we want you to get the help you need. So if you don't know how to build one of these things, we'll try to walk you through as much as humanly possible, at least what we can tolerate, okay? So this build is probably just going to be a little bit more tedious than I want it to be today. I can tell you that. See, that one tightened, but it tightened in the wrong position. That is the worst one I've had so far. And it's been not really all that bad. Okay, so let's spin them by hand. Sometimes it does kind of help to do it by hand first. Okay, so then I'm gonna take and do this. And I'm gonna torque this, just like that. Okay, once it's torqued, then I can come in and torque this. And then I can go over and do the exact same thing, but you'll notice we have to pull that corner together. And again, just like we did on the last couple of clips, we'll go ahead and show this step and then we will pause and do the other half, okay? So slide it in, try to slide it up. See, I'm gonna turn this sideways. See if it goes in, yep, it's in. So now I'm gonna get the part that's not needing to be corrected first, which is gonna be right here. I'm gonna spin it in, let it get partial purchase. That is blinding me. Thank you. Okay, so now that's partially purchased, so I can still slide this, okay? Once you slide this, then you hold it, It's a little bit tricky. I'm gonna block it with my hand largely, and then come under here and then spin that into place. And before you get everything totally trued up, plumbed up, leveled up, whatever you wanna do, I'm gonna torque this down just a little bit. And you see how it kind of pulled that off center? I'm gonna slide it back, get it exactly where I want. Then I'm gonna come at it with even more torque. And once you torque it, it's gonna hold it a lot better, okay? So that's the process. It's not an especially difficult process. It's just that there are a lot of steps. Again, I'd rather have 400 really easy steps than have like 14 super devastatingly difficult steps. But to be honest with you, when you're paying this kind of coin for an object to show up at your door that works, from my perspective, I don't want to put this much stuff together. I want somebody else to put it together, and I want to pay them because the labor rate over there is a lot lower than it is here. Okay, so that's torqued down, but you see it's still wanting to walk. So that means we didn't actually bite, of course. So I knew we were bound to show this at some point, but that didn't bite, okay? So now I have to back this all the way out. So once you break it free, I'm gonna show you how to tell when it's fixed. Okay, you have to go up, loosen it until it can walk above the rib. The other thing you can do is you can actually look in the tube. And if you look down that tube, you can see it's not working, okay? You see it? Mm-hmm. Tell me when it pops sideways. I'm backing it up. You just don't want it to fall off.
Not yet.
Really?
No, it's not up there yet. Up in the hole.
It's fighting me. The bolt is actually stopping it from going up in there for some reason.
Yeah, it's not twisting.
Is it lifting?
No, it's not.
Why is it not spinning? So guys, if you run into this, what's happening is the screw is coming down, but it's not releasing.
Yeah, it's like the little...
So show them here. See, the threads are coming out,
Yeah.
but this isn't going down, okay? So what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to press that up in there so that it pops in through. See that? It's stuck.
Yep.
See that? That's unacceptable. I don't know how I got it to do that, but I got it to do that. And that is obviously not ideal. So I don't want to get stabbed. So I got to be kind of careful how I do this. So I'm going to go in here and just pull up on this. Yep, I got it. I've freed it. So you see now it lifts, okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to put that back in there. That's the first one that's really fought us. Walk it into the crack. Ah, now it's going up, right?
Yes, now it's up. It's not spun yet, but it's going up.
Okay. How about now?
Nope, it's still up, but it hasn't spun. There, now it's spinning. There, now it's spun.
Okay, now it's bit.
Yep, it's starting to. There it goes.
Okay, now it's good. So when you're building this assembly, there are a couple of tricky spots. That's one of the tricky spots, especially when they're upright like this, because gravity's not helping you. If you have a real hard time, flip the assembly upside down, and then you can do it from the other direction. Then gravity will help get that thing set. Okay, I've had no problems on the vertical ones, and I've had no problems on the ones down here, but the one upside down, we've had quite a bit of problems. So we'll get this one done and we'll come back and show you what it looks like for the next stage. Okay, so by far the worst ones were this, and I fought them 3 times each, up to and including having the little nut thing come out, and it was very frustrating. So I eventually flipped the whole thing upside down, just like I suggested you might do. Now I'm building the last square box that's gonna eventually mount into here with those extra extendo thingies, and that's gonna house the chair, okay? And that's not to be confused with the throne. That's where the children get dropped off at the beach. Right?
Sure.
Everybody does it. It's okay.
No.
No, you don't. Let's get you a doctor. Okay, so there it is. See, this is kicked at a cattywampus angle. That's one thing that you'll find out about this mounting technique. And that's probably why the industrial ones that I do have 4 each. I think I said 16 each. I meant 4 on each face. So there's 4 washers, 4 bolts, and 4 of those nut thingies. It is ridiculous. But when you're doing measurement systems that are really hyper specific, then you've got to have a lot of holding force, especially overhead safety ratings. Okay, so you see that? See how it's teetering? That is no bueno. No es bueno. So, yep, there's your problem. See the problem right there?
Yes.
Okay, so that what you have to do is you have to diagnose where the problem is, loosen the problem point, and then take out the wiggle. So I'm gonna get in here, loosen that. Looks like the wiggle did largely stop. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. And on some of these applications, you will tend to induce that twist into the frame as you torque the last bolt. So you got to be careful you don't induce the roll or the frame bend. Okay. See what I'm talking about?
I think you need to do that corner too.
It's actually technically there. So I'll show you what I'm going to do to fix it. And it may or may not work, but I loosened it. And then I'm going to loosen this one simultaneously. Okay? And you're saying this one?
Yeah.
So loosening that. Okay. So now that it's loosened, you can see that gets us close. And karate chop. Karate chopping is always a good idea. Everybody was kung fu fighting, after all. We already know. We're not sure why, but they were evidently doing that thing. All right, guys. So now this time, I'm hoping it doesn't get screwed up. So you'll notice I'm holding in as many different places as I can, so that as I torque this, camera crew, pull that down. Okay. Better-ish. So as you can see, this process is quite tedious. It's frustrating. It is definitely not my idea of fun, okay? Again, I'm gonna come full circle to this is not, I don't wanna do what I do for a living in my hobby, but you know, for some of you, you might not do this for a living, so it's probably not a big deal. And you might enjoy this process. There's something satisfying about putting things together, but for me, it's just tedious, okay? So we've got that built. Our next move is to go ahead and continue the assembly. We have to put these 4 legs on there, there, and there. And then once that's done, we're gonna flip it the other way around and actually mount the chair to 2 of the last remaining long pieces. So we'll go ahead and come back when that's done. Obviously, we don't need to show you every tedious step, but we will show you my frustration and communicate that hopefully in an appropriate way that is not censored. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, guys. Looks like this is actually upside down. I had a real hard time with these. I was trying to do them like that. Didn't work well. But we're gonna flip it back upright. And once you're upright, then we can put this flat piece on. Of course, this is steel. So we'll set it like that. That's one way to do it. The other way is you can take and lay this down upside down or right side up. It doesn't really matter as long as you do it the same for all of them. Get a couple of turns on there. Take your hardware. Why are these assembled?
Because I thought we were putting them in, but they're different. Sorry.
So push that through and then spin them. And then once you get all 4 of these on, I'm cradling this thing like a baby. So it's working pretty good. Just hold that through. And all you have to do is just get these things through a couple of turns. If you do much more than a couple turns, I was doing that upside down. You do much more than a couple turns, it'll bind when you go to try to send it in there, okay? Remember, these are the flat heads as opposed to the more bulky style. And we are done with those little angle brackets, thank God.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we'll just get a couple of turns. Now, ideally, if you lay it like this, it'll catch. Then you can rotate it in and then just do the one side. I got those with my middle and ring fingers. Pull this out, drops right down. No big deal. Pretty simple on that one. That was probably the easiest one there. Hold it flush to the edge. Don't get cut. They are sharp on the edges, just to be clear. If that weren't already immediately obvious, they are sharp, okay? So yes, you can cut yourself. Try not to. And I also noticed that if you give kind of like a quick turn, it seems to seat them a little bit better. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you think you got it and then you torque, and you're like, it's just didn't catch anything. And you won't know until you try to pull the surfaces apart. So you do have to take the mating surfaces and actually see if they come apart. Because if they don't come apart, you gotta redo it, okay? Because otherwise this thing's gonna fall apart while you're picking it up to deliver it to your front porch or wherever you're gonna fly your helicopter or airplane or whatever from. Now, the other thing is I had visions on this video. I'm just gonna tell you what we're thinking about. I'm not sure what you're gonna see, but we had visions of showing this operating as a simulator, but I am not 100% sure we can do that yet. But we do have a DSM dongle, a DSMX dongle, and if we can truly use that transmitter to communicate to DSMX, then we could actually set it up to use it with real flight. Should be pretty cool. In which case, we'll set it up on the giant TV and make it so we can set this out in the living room and have a really cool flying experience. Gosh, these are not very deep.
Right.
So it's been quite frustrating to drive these shallow, flat ones here. In fact, this whole project has just kind of been a giant pain. And I'm hoping it doesn't stay that way to its fruition. I think once it's built, it's probably gonna be okay. And a lot of times when we build airplanes and they're a gigantic pain in the butt, I kind of forget about it. Like the Spitfire from Hobby King.
Right.
Huge pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Awesome plane, okay? I was just thinking about that today because somebody made a comment about how they weren't gonna buy them because they stopped buying them from Hobby King because the props were like proprietary. I'm like, well, sometimes they are on scale planes, but that's true of every manufacturer. Sometimes we have proprietary, but Hobby King does that a lot, and it is kind of crappy. So like if you, especially like the C-130, you've got 4 props that are special. So if you need to order props, you got to order a bunch of them because you're not sure which one's going to break if you're going to break one. Or like me, if you're going to run into a tree when it's brand new. So at the end of the day, I'm hoping that after this gigantic amount of effort to just hold the thing together, it's gonna prove to be worthwhile. I've been let down before. Camera crew, would you grab my seat?
Yes. This
Now-
is a little small.
Well, you straddle it lengthwise. You don't sit sideways. Okay, so this goes like that, and it's supposed to go around the outside, but I mean, they've got these slots there. I wonder if you could get away with that. Well, that's pretty tight. Like, I didn't think it would be that tight. So once you strap that on, just like standard buckle style, you've got these nice big slashers for your thighs.
Well, we haven't put the end caps on yet.
Oh, but you can slash your thighs now.
Okay.
You got to get that out of the way if you're going to do it.
In case you're gonna do it later.
Yeah. So if you're gonna chop the carotid artery, you'll want to try to get that out of the way at this stage of the game. Don't wait until later.
Okay.
All right. So everybody, listen. This is going to slide up to that, and it's going to mate up to this machine like that. Okay.
Yep.
There is a way to do it. Now, the cool thing is, if you wanted to separate the seat from the rest of the simulator, you can do it, but I'm not sure that that's going to be what most of us are going to do. Okay. So you see this got rails and flats. So this, it looks a lot like these thingies. Okay. So that should tell you how to do it. And then what are we using? The set screws?
The set screws for that.
These grub screws are going to go in like this. and you'll be able to reach them. You can actually assemble these outside. Just make sure that the head that's exposed is not the flat, okay? Because the flat, you're not gonna be able to turn. So once you get that, ooh, that thread is not feeling very, very good at all. Spin it backward until it goes. There it goes, okay? Then eventually that's gonna press in there. See, if you were to go that way, you wouldn't have any way of driving it.
So the bump is going to be out. Like this little ridge is going to face out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't know that from assembling 473 of these.
I just was doing an assembly.
So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, it's not very often the camera crew gets to help build the plane or the helicopter, but on this particular video, she did help to assemble all those triangles.
Yep.
And she did a phenomenal job.
Yes, I did.
Probably the best job of any assembly she's done since the last time. Okay, so that's not the right size. So this is gonna be the small one. I'm assuming that's 3 millimeters, okay? So yep, that's the smallest one. Now, listen, you can stay there. I'm gonna hold this up. I'm gonna slide this in, and then I'm gonna slide the other thing on top of it, okay? I'm using my ring finger on this right hand to just kind of gauge that in there, to kind of hold it.
Okay.
And then we have to repeat that process to actually get this other one set. And so as you can see, it's not a hard process, it's just tedious. And if you're into tedious assemblies, then you might be in the right hobby, because the truth is, there are quite a few times when we have tedious steps.
Yeah, you do stuff all the time that I would like.
Are you talking about at work?
Yeah,
like when I fill out like 105 pages for one day's work?
Well, yes, but also all of the like soldering and watching you build connectors, I would be unalive if I had to do that.
No, you wouldn't do that. At the end of the day, there are certain steps that are tedious, but there's something that's satisfying about the completion of said tedious tasks.
Yes.
Okay, oops, I don't need that. That goes back to the pile. I already had it over here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna slide this into the other side. But in order to do this, camera crew, pull the throttle over, please. We had grabbed that for size reference. Now, I'm gonna just tip this up like this very, very carefully, because as you can see, I'm gonna slide this in from the end.
Okay.
And just slide it through so that it aligns. And once it aligns, it's gonna take some of the weight off of it, meaning I can relax a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Then I'm gonna put my arm here so I can kind of torque that vertical. And that is working terribly. So really there's not a great way to do this that I can figure, because everything is kind of at different heights. Camera crew, grab me a pillow from behind there.
Yep.
Put it under the chair. Thank you. That worked pretty good. Now I just have to kind of balance it. It's enough material that it's kind of a pain, which seems to kind of be a common factor here. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I challenged, one of my bolts is loose over here. Look, this one.
Yeah.
I gotta tighten that. But first, I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not. I'm gonna tighten that first. So I'm gonna tighten this while she gets the tool. I'm just gonna get one set so I don't have to have it flopping all over the place. There's one thing, man, if it starts flopping around, it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you don't understand what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
Whatever. Just different apparatus. Thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna go out to the outside one. And then once I get this tightened, then it's not gonna be done, but it'll at least hold itself together a little bit better so I don't have to fight it. That actually went pretty smooth. That was easier than those other stupid things, those triangles. Remember how I just flip-flopped there?
Yeah.
Because I said I was gonna tighten this one first.
Yeah, and then you're gonna do all those.
I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna just get it done. Then I'm gonna come over here and change my mind again and get this done.
So did you just forget to tighten that one, or did it not ever bite?
Or yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe I forgot, I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with that, yeah, maybe I just forgot. Okay. Now, admittedly, if I was building a machine and I wanted the machine to be nice and square, I would not torque everything down until closer to the end. But you kind of have to commit to certain squares and shapes or you can't get your next shapes taken care of on an assembly like this.
Right.
So if you're hoping to wait till the end to tighten everything down, there ain't no way.
Have a loosey-goosey mess on your hands.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to do that. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some people that could probably figure something out. Like you could use clamps and stuff to hold crap together, but that would be really terrible.
Oh, I thought you were going to say butter knives.
Well, I mean, butter knives are always helpful. So once this is torqued down, then we are to the point where we have a seat and we can flip it back correct upright, okay? And by the way, I just want you guys to see, you know, I'm not like a weak guy. I can hold a lot of weight. And this thing has got a little bit of weight to it. So if you're doing this by yourself, you might want to think about getting a second set of hands. It's going to help make this a little bit easier process. Camera crew, hand me the black one again. Because I'm just feeling, it just feels like there's something not quite torqued down.
Is there something that's going to tie together at that end?
I would hope so.
Or the rudder pedals are going to go out there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
gotcha.
sorry.
Okay. All right, so our next big move is going to be what?
We are going to do all of these cable clamps next. So we're going to need a bunch of these flathead screws and the T nuts.
Why are we
is what
doing
they're calling them?
cable clamps next?
Because that's what it says. We have to put all of these millions on. So we should do that, and then we'll come back and show them what we did.
No, we'll show them one.
Okay, we'll show them one.
Okay, so let's show them one. This is a cable clamp. It opens up like this. It's like a rubbery print. So you have a flat, it goes through. Then you have one of these godforsaken things that goes on here. And then you lay that down. And once you start that, you end up with that assembly, but you have to further do a second one. And yeah, that's right, to hold a cable.
But I can assemble all those while you're putting them on.
Yeah, hypothetically. Now let's put one on and let's show them what it looks like.
So this is hard to see.
Camera crew, point where it is.
You're gonna put like 2 on the outside of this rail out here.
Are you certain that that's the right spot?
Well,
Do you want me to look at it?
sure. Right here.
There are 2 on the outside.
And then there's gonna be 2 down the front.
So
2
the
down
orientation is like this, okay? That's the way it's sitting on our counter.
Yeah.
So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Okay,
So do 1 and then all of.
we'll do
Symbol
one
line.
right now and you guys can see what it looks like. It's just like what we did before. It's pretty easy and basic, but it's like, holy cow, this is gonna be tedious. Okay, just like that. And then just like this, okay? And it's only gonna be as tedious as you let it be, okay guys? Because remember, all you have to do is just like, think positive or some such thing. Isn't that what they...
Do you know how to do that?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so.
I don't know. You have to teach me.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm spinning this, and part of the problem is with the soft stuff is that they don't always have enough time to get purchased before they flip the wrong direction, and then they lock in there. But that one did lock.
Okay.
Pretty good. Okay, so now the other thing you could do, and I'm saying this all joking aside, you could take a, whatever size this is a, gosh, it's hard to read, 4 millimeter. And you could put it into a drill and this would go a lot quicker if you're into that sort of thing, which I'm not because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yes.
So while we are gluttons for punishments, we will pause and we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Something like that.
Okay, we'll do that while we pause. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those mounted. That was awesome. My day was not going well until that happened.
Glad we could.
Okay, so we've got this one loaded up. This is the battery support. So they're showing that the strap goes through like so, or like so probably. I'm actually just gonna Velcro that on. Make sure I get it the right way, because sometimes it's easy to mix this up. So I'll pull that through. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna go. Okay, and then I just need to strap that through. Same exact process as these mounts. So we'll just slide that in there. They're showing it being about halfway down or so in that region. So just give this a couple of twists and see how we do. Now, camera crew was trying to do some math on the next step. So as I tighten this screw, you'll see that that gives us a nice little battery mount. But then the next big problem that we're noticing is we might have been shorted on some hardware.
Yes, because we are going to put on all of the plates that have the actual stuff on them. And these are showing 4 screws in each plate, which would be a total of 12. We only have 8 of these flat screws
They're
left.
not under the manual, are they?
Nope, I looked everywhere, and I have 2 extra nuts, and I had 4 extra washers.
What? 2 extra nuts?
Or, I mean, bolts. Sorry.
I say, geez, you
And
know
then
what
4
nuts are,
washers.
especially 2 of them.
And then we're going to use a bunch more of those. Like, we've got plenty of these. Yeah, I just ignored you. It's okay. We got plenty of nuts. We don't have enough screws. Are we going to put a couple of the end caps on and show them that?
Yeah, because that's going to be,
technically the next
this is my style of assembly. Okay? Like that.
Did
Done.
it fit in there pretty good, actually?
Now, there is a squared off little thingy-mabobber that goes on the visible part. Okay? So you see that?
Like the up part
Yeah.
or whatever.
So it fills the gap. Okay? And then these go on really easy. This is my type of assembly. And yet I would still ordinarily complain
Rather
about that.
have somebody else do it for you.
Wait, not here, correct?
Probably, because the plate is just going to go on top of that.
Oh, okay.
I think we're covering every open.
So what
orifice.
if somebody needs to slash their carotid artery?
You're going to have to do that on your own time, and then I guess.
So you got to get it done before this step.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So because this is gonna prevent the slashing of said carotid arteries.
Isn't that in your neck? Why is this touching your neck?
Well, I mean, if you were laying on it, it's a chair, and you could. I don't know what type of freaky things people are gonna do with these.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just gonna fill the end caps and warn people about the carotid
Okay.
artery. That doesn't fit very good
That
on
didn't
this
go
one.
on very good.
I think I just had it misaligned. Sometimes if you don't line up with the hole, it doesn't slide in.
Well, yeah. I don't know if they gave us extra of these or not, so I guess we're going to find
What if
out.
they gave us extras of these and they gave us too few of the screws? You know, so like the thing we don't need.
We might have to take some of our cable ties out or something until we get the right
Are you
number of
kidding me?
screws.
You had me put the cable ties in, I'm gonna have to take them out?
We're going in the order of the manual
Why would we read a manual?
because I'm here.
Oh, I'm just
And
kidding.
then the people don't have to tell us to
Read the effing manual. It's like we read our comments or something. By the way, we do read your comments.
We do.
We just don't always reply to them like we used to.
We don't. We're sorry.
I reply to like most comments that I read, but it's just been impossible to keep up over the years.
That should be the last one.
There was a time when we were caught up
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
Yes.
Every vacation, I would spend like 3 days getting caught up.
Doing
It was
comments.
terrible. Now, if
Okay.
I spend 3 days, I would get caught up for 1 day.
Yeah.
Yay, wow. And my carotid artery is going to survive. Okay,
We got to
so
put the thingies on now
they should have probably done that on step 1 for safety.
for safety.
Because by the time you get to this step,
You're
there's
doing-
going to be a lot more people that needed
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Wait, that nut did not go on very well. That's why it's off to the side in case we had
These
extras.
nuts?
Those nuts are fine.
Okay, what's next, camera
We're putting
crew?
these things on.
I don't know how to read instructions. You're going to
I
have
know.
to tell me.
Install the throttle lever, the rudder pedals, and the main controls as
Hey,
shown.
you mean this?
Yep.
So you want this as shown? Like
Yes. Yep.
that? Okay. So
With-
everybody pay attention for a second. This is critical. Slide these nuts onto these bolts.
See, that's why I was.
But only after you do this. Like that.
That's why I was assembling them earlier, and then I realized that was wrong.
Just like that. And then now, I should also say we never actually installed the...
They haven't installed it yet either. Oh, actually, they do have theirs installed, but I don't think it really.
So it was just an afterthought. It was like, don't worry about installing the thing that actually matters.
Right. No, just do that last.
They were just like they ran out of time on their labor quota, and so they were like, let's just make the customer build the rest of it.
You're giving them a hard time, but you have not. I have read lots of manuals, and this is by far not the worst.
By far not the worst. That is saying something.
It is, especially coming from me.
Yes, I know. They didn't tell us to not fly for handicapped people or in front of hospitals.
There are some warnings in there. I haven't read those all to you yet.
Oh, really? There's good warnings?
Well, I don't know.
What about boskage? Did they mention any boskage?
But at that time, the manual was backwards, and I was just trying to find the beginning.
If you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, believe me, these are things that we've read.
Oh, yes.
Lots of warnings about boskage and pack a lunch.
Yep.
Don't forget to pack a lunch. It's critical.
See, now you're going to make me read them the warnings because we're talking about it now.
Okay, whatever. I mean, obviously, you're not doing anything useful over there. What? You're holding the camera.
I assembled like half of your thing.
It was supposed to be a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
Because we all know you're doing something very important right now. Okay, so that's going to go in and out. Now, there is an adjustment here. That's your trim. It's actually not. There's still trim like normal, I think. Hun, read the warnings.
Do not operate the FF10. That's what this thing is called.
FF10?
In case the people were wondering.
Whoa. I wanted to get the FF7.
You could get an F7S. Okay, don't operate the remote control system Undie. It's an R.
Under
the following conditions.
Oh.
In severe weather or strong wind conditions, such as rain, hail, snow,
well, that blows.
Storms, or strong electromagnetic environments.
Isn't that one we always film?
Yes. Don't operate in any situation.
Electromagnetic. So like during solar flares
Yes.
and UFO attacks?
You cannot do it then.
What about aliens?
EMPs. What if they use the discombobulator? Can you use it then?
Yes. If they're using a discombobulator, you can do it then.
Don't use it in any area where there may be people.
What?
Property.
Whoa.
Or high voltage power lines.
Well, in that case, never mind. That rules out hospitals.
Only use it
and
in
boskage.
Space.
Well, no, you can use it in front of boskage.
Yeah.
As long as you're not human. If you're not human, you can fly it.
Not or near public roads, vehicles, or animals. It really narrows down your usage.
So you can't, no power lines, vehicles, roads,
property,
public roads.
Yeah.
Any property.
Yes. Don't use if you feel tired. Well, you're out. Unwell. Or under the influence of medication.
Well, if you're unwell, I mean, you could always just pop the caps.
Don't use in areas with strong 2.4 gigahertz interference or where 2.4 gigahertz radio use is prohibited.
Are you talking about are you saying that I need to wear an aluminum hat?
Yes. Your tinfoil. Did you make your tinfoil hat for today?
Just listen. I have a question, camera crew.
Yeah.
So if we are truly short on screws.
We are truly short.
Of all the things that they could shortchange us, why did it have to be the screws?
And we did check our packing screws, and they are not the same.
Yeah, these screws, for the record,
screws.
are a different size class.
Yes, definitely.
Okay? So don't just try to stick any screw in any hole.
Yeah.
So keep your tip clean.
So I think we either have to take those off.
That really pisses me off. I spent all that time putting those on.
I know, I'm so sorry. That's why I was counting ahead.
Okay, what's next? Please give me something to do before I get really angry and take these end caps off.
Put these on.
I'm glad that this is so heavy duty right there.
Why?
Because that's where your feet are gonna be.
Oh.
Do you see the way that goes? That's where your feet are. Are you kidding me?
Well, your feet are gonna be on the pedals, not on the middle.
Camera crew, would you
thingy.
please just admit that that is a completely ludicrously stupid decision?
I don't know what any of that stuff is.
It's a pot. It's a potentiometer that measures the position of the left right. And they put the output wire that's like 22 gauge silicone wrapped right there.
I mean, I hear the words that are coming out of your mouth.
I'm sure you didn't.
I mean, I did.
You might have heard them, but you weren't listening. I don't feel heard.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not that late yet. We've started this late before.
Yeah, I know.
We probably, I don't know. I'm glad we're past that stage of caring. What? Wait, what?
Oh, okay. So you're putting 4 in, and then we're going to take 4 out of the cable ties till we get replacements, right?
I'm so confused by what you just asked.
I thought you were going to do like corner, but it's fine.
No, I'm gonna see if I can put regular bolts in that one too, possibly. No, I'm not doing corner. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be pressing on this with my feet.
I know.
This should have had 8. You know, I mean, not just 4.
I don't disagree.
So China cheated again. Fooled me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you again. Cut it out. Is that how that goes?
Sure.
I think that's the way it went. But no, seriously, they forgot at least one nutsack in here.
Well, when we first dumped them out, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a million of these things, and I can't believe we're short 4.
Well, we're short a whole set of something because they gave instructions. Well, then the other thing is...
we have plenty of nuts.
Well, you're right, we do. Interesting.
We have too many nuts as far as I can tell.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit weirded out by that. I have a feeling this is going to be midgetized big time. Like, I'm concerned badly that this is going to be like, I mean, Jay might fit on here, but will I?
Well, we have a elementary age kid that might fit on here.
No, I think I can sit back further. What if they had to give it the extendo boom?
Yeah.
Extendo boom, electro boom. Do you guys like that channel, Electro Boom? The guy that like electrocutes himself all the time. It's hilarious. Is like one of my favorite channels.
Yeah.
Because it's just, he's the brilliant guy that acts like an idiot constantly, and constantly electrocutes himself and like blows stuff up. It is hilarious. So shout out to Electro Boom. That'd be hilarious if he was like, shout out to Brian Phillips RC.
He's working with Mark Grober, so if he gives a shout out to us, that would be... Yeah, he's doing his curriculum that Mark Grober is writing. He's helping with it.
Oh, cool. Good for him. He's like, don't touch this. Zap!
Yeah. He's the what not to do on the experiments.
He's like the guy that's the silhouette.
Yeah.
And all the safety signs that like got his arm chopped off. Unfortunately for him, he did not sign up to do this one.
He did not.
It would have been a great one. Just think of all the ways you could get killed doing it. Okay, so folks, listen. I'm really annoyed about the shortage of screws. So annoyed that I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I was just thinking we may end up having to use those bolts. Now, why did I decide to wait and use bolts on this instead of these flat ones?
Why did you?
Because, here's why. Because it's mounted there where you're not going to have your feet, and it's not where your hands are going to be.
Okay.
Okay, that was my rationalization. I need this thing, please.
Or we're doing that thing next.
We're doing this thing now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna bust that out right now. Okay.
Is there not a...
Camera crew, would you please pay attention? This
I'm
is
trying.
critical. This is critical. Highly technical step. You gotta slide the thing through the doohickey until it's there.
Is there a nut that goes on that?
Listen.
Or does it have a nut insert in it?
That's kind of a personal question.
Oh, sorry.
No, there isn't a nutsert. And you know why? Because it doesn't need it. It's got a threaded receiver thingy, my bobber. No, that doesn't work. What a pain in the butt. So guys, I will say this thing has gone together super smooth. It's gone really good. And I loved every minute of it.
It has gone super smooth. You just didn't love any minutes of it.
Oh, that's the way it was. Yeah, I had it backward. I didn't like any of the minutes. It was all the minutes. If it weren't for all the minutes of this build, I would have loved it.
You needed a medication or an alcoholic beverage or whatever you're not supposed to use during assembly.
You aren't supposed to do this next to humans. That's why.
Right. Oh, I can leave happily.
No, I am also a human.
Or near property.
You can't be doing it like at property. Hey, let's look at this though, for reals. This one could probably come off. Because like, what am I securing there? Nothing.
Well, at least temporarily.
Not temporarily, permanently. Look.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you get your finger in there and you just open it right up and then slide it in. Booyah. This is throttle, guys. Look at this. Thur. Okay. Throttle. I always love it, the Chinese. They're like PLS. Please plug in the throttle. Please.
They didn't say that in this manual.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't say please.
They
just
didn't?
to do it.
Okay. They just said
Okay,
do
good. So we can take.
Do it now.
So we can take that one off.
Get to the copter.
That gives us 2 screws.
Pretty sure it's chopper, but that's all right. Feel bad now. Said it wrong. Sorry, wrong. I'm never watching your videos again. It's not a tumor. This is the rudder. The only reason I'm doing this now, folks, is because, no, not the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations. That's just sheer wear and tear on my human flesh. What's going on is right now, I'm going to just feed all these things through. Good Lord. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. This is obviously the rudder. And it's keyed, so it's not exactly rocket science here. You know, you've got a key. You just slide it in there and then it's done. Yeah, just like that, kids. Okay, high quality stuff right there. Look at this. Look at this loosey goose. Loosey goose. Okay, tighten it. All right. Why do we need 2 of these? I could take this off. No. I could. No. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Can't you chase them up all through one thing?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. That's pretty presumptuous there, camera crew.
Well, you know me.
Okay, see this? So let's do that. And then let's do this. Oh yeah. Wow. Just opened right up and stuffed it right in.
So did we put too many cable ties on? No, because we used them all.
Camera crew, there was a picture. There was a picture menu.
I know, I can
usually handle picture menus. Usually.
I think we just need to route them all up.
This comes off, this comes off, this comes off. We've now gained more than we need. Because we need 4.
Agreed. Well,
$4 foot long.
Yeah, you wish. It's like an $8 foot long now. No, it's more than that.
It's 12.
It used to be 5, right?
$12.99.
So like,
well, I mean, that was
yeah.
back when they had the, they did. He's like in jail now.
I know.
Not the, well, I can't even say that joke.
Yep.
I can't even say it. Toilet wine. Could be watching right now. Throttle.
Low calorie toilet wine.
Rudder. Okay, so we need to make a decision. What is the decision for? So that we can put this thing on.
Right.
So here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna make a decision together as a team. Ready, team? Go. Make the decision. Wait, hold on. Actually, this goes forward. This goes between the legs. Here. And then you can adjust it accordingly, depending on how much room you need in this region.
I was gonna say, that seems a little close.
Well, I mean, it depends on... So we'll go here. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one comes off right now.
For sure.
This one, faux show. It comes off and it never is to be seen again. Actually, the cable ties work really nice.
Yeah, they do actually.
I'm actually quite impressed with some aspects of this build, and other aspects I am unimpressed, okay? Namely, the aspect that I am not happy about is the shortage of screws. The secondary aspect that I'm not happy about is we're not gonna be able to give those up.
Which?
Those ones will need to stay because they go along. I mean, we could go up here, I guess.
Oh.
It's probably not the end of the world.
Maybe we can get by with getting rid of one.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Here's an idea. Let's just Let's just open the mouth and cram it right in. Ready? Ready? No? Okay, never mind. I'll just do it like here on the cable clamps, right there. And this one here, just cram it in there. This one is obviously going to be for us some aspect of, oh boy. Yeah, this one's gonna be the one that's gonna be the elevator. Wait.
How do you know it's not the aileron?
Yeah. What?
Is it labeled?
Oh, there's two of them. Well, you know from looking at ale. Ale. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna, just cram it in the mouth. Yep, there it is. Very nice. Very nice. What, do you have a problem with the way I did that? Why did you say what?
Well, you were gonna like cram the whole thing through the hole instead
No,
of like
listen,
slipping it in.
listen. I was just gonna gently just maneuver this through to the comfortable spot.
We got more wires to put in there.
Just relax. Relax for a sec. I want to show you this. Look, oh, dang it. That didn't work with it. Crap. Okay, so that's good enough for me. That's good enough. See what I did?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay.
So then the other one, we'll just, you see how I just stick my finger in there until it's ready, and then I stuff it in. Stinger in, stuff it in. Stinger in, stuff it in, okay? Now, you could also put some of your excess here if you wanted to get the excess in a different spot, but the way I figure is this is, you know, probably what we're gonna do, because that's what I did. Done
This is
did
gonna
it.
be awkward to lift down onto the ground.
What is it?
Awkward.
Are you kidding me? It was awkward before it was heavy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so this is the elevator. LA. It's LA. Uh-oh. Oh, man. That's never going to be right, you know. That's so annoying. I'm going to totally zip tie that thing.
Okay.
Okay, so now we got the elevator in there. Got the ale. That is so annoying.
Or electrical tape.
Electrical tape would probably be equally okay-ish. I'm gonna go with zip tie, hun.
Okay, it's fine.
So everybody watching this at home, thanks for being part of Brian Phillips RC Experience here. Sometimes it's better than others. This one's probably not one of the best. But we hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. There were a few jokes there at the end, but most of it was just me being angry about how terrible this process has been. And it has sucked. And if you want me to fake it, then you're watching the wrong channel. Because I don't fake it. Not even for her. Right?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, there's one good thing about that. When you're watching our videos, you don't have to worry about me making a big line of BS. All right, so here it is. All right? Might be a line of something, but it's not necessarily going to be BS. All right, so this one's already taken off, so that gives us 2 bolts. So we're halfway there. We're halfway there. What else can we do?
I think we should take off.
Well, this one's got to get up here at some point.
Yeah.
So like yeah. Maybe we just do one because this is going to be the SVGA plug.
At least one for now.
We're going to have a power cord going down there too. Oh, that's a Phillips screw. Okay.
Oh, that's a little one.
What's little?
The Phillips
This? What are you talking about?
screw.
I was going to say, never complained before. That does not actually screw in. There is no screw.
Oh.
That's rather stupid.
Oh, yeah, that's dumb.
And it doesn't hold very good either. Like somebody's going to lose this and they're going to lose their controls. So whatever. I guess we'll find out how bad this is going to be. Because the truth is, like, I don't know if I can give that up. I could probably give up one of these. Except then you're going to set it down and have a problem. That's a pretty good amount of cable clamps, but you pretty much need them all.
I mean, to be honest, you would give up this one temporarily because you're just going from there to there.
Or we take and use these 2 screws if they'll even feed in, which they won't. Look, these are different sizes.
No, they're not. Because that's
they
what we
are.
no.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
We'll do that. So we're going to put a washer. Boop. And then we're going to do another washer.
Are we using those on the base or are we replacing them on the cable clamp?
What are you talking about? Oh, I hadn't considered that. You could do both.
Okay.
But no.
No what?
No, we'll just, wait, we don't have enough. How is it that we're shorted on bolts? If FMS built this, we would have had at least one extra.
One extra.
One, not two, but one.
No, because you're going to use those 2 screws that we're taking out of that one, and then we're going to use 2 bolts now.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this exactly like this. I'm going to just stick that in there. I'm going to spin that around, okay? I'm not going to tighten it because I can't. This is going to screw us up on the other half of the equation. Then I'm going to put this one here. Now I could put it back here, but you see I've got this other junk I'm fighting with, okay? But guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we leave no stone unturned, and we paused a lot in this video.
Mm-hmm. We did.
And it's still long, okay? So now, hypothetically, if we got, I'm just really torn on this here, hon. I'm gonna open the mouth, stuff it in, just like that, okay? I could go up like this and see if I could get a loop going. You suppose I could get away with that? I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave this one on. I think I'm just gonna leave it on.
I know, but then we have the 2 screws we need, so we're fine.
Yeah.
With that one we took off.
But then look where I'm putting my loop.
Yep.
I'm just gonna loop it right here. It's gonna be hopefully beautiful. That's too many loops. And that is totally gonna give problems.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
They should have had nuts standoffs.
Yeah.
That was a miss. That was a miss. Yeah, I'm calling it a miss. Yeah, because I don't trust that thing holding it. I mean, it'll hold. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's like you could move this without tools, which is kind of cool. If you can fit this wampum thing in your truck or car.
How are we going to fit it through our door into another room?
We're going to use a teleporter. Okay, you should know this by now.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Battery cable also needs to feed. Okay, so this is the electro extendo right there. And I think that's technically supposed to go all the way down and over, but it's not going to. It's going to go right here. Gosh, this one's getting so crowded.
You might have to do your excess somewhere else.
Yeah, we could potentially do that, but I'm a pretty lazy guy, so I'm going to not do that. That's a good idea. I'm going to totally ignore it.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Yeah. I mean, you should have known that.
Like usual.
Should have told me. Should have known that at the beginning, but it's okay. Good try. See?
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so everybody pay attention for a sec. I got to put these in. And they're coming out of this clip, and it sucks because I would like to have the clip, but it is what it is. This is going to give us 4 mount down points on the throttle stick. Oh, Sterling Kit managed to put a sticker on there. Did you see?
I did.
I'm not going to scrape it off. It's not a scale helicopter. It's not a scale airplane, so I don't care. They can put their brand marketing all over the boxes, packaging, seats, toilet paper, wherever they want. I don't care. As long as it's not on a scale helicopter.
Yeah.
Because then I get pissed about that stuff. Because, you know, people don't buy beautiful scale helicopters so they have stupid brand marketing on it. If they want to put stupid brand marketing on themselves, then that's fine. But don't put it on for your customers. That's for darn sure. Anyway, they listened, kind of, maybe.
Well, and we believe, from what we've been told, that they don't put them on for you guys.
Yeah, they've told us that. So if they do,
tell us, and
we will complain. Because, like, we complain, and we're supposed to be like a marketing partner or whatever. So, whatever. Marketing partner, KOL. That's what the Chinese call us.
Kiss.
KOL.
Our, don't know.
Kiss our longitude. I don't know, whatever that means. It's like kilograms. All right, we're almost there, guys. This build just feels like it's dragging on forever. It's now 7 days in. Do you remember that birthday sign? It's now deteriorated. It's totally gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's been
It
so
was
long.
up there for a few decades during that build. Got it.
We need the little, was that SpongeBob SquarePants a few moments later.
Yeah. If we use that on the channel, it would be like half of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
It would be.
That won't
Oh,
work.
because that's a different size.
Different size.
Yep.
Yeah. But you guys see the rationalization between the flat ones here and then the big ones over here.
Yes. Well, I mean, I do.
Well, then tell the people.
Well, because you're...
Because we're behind the controls.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt anything here.
Ooh, we're almost out of time.
Well,
I think we're almost done, right?
Well, I mean, we're almost done like,
With this step.
putting it together.
The build.
Then we have to like do something with it. Good Lord. If this was an airplane, we'd still have to check the center of gravity. We'd have to do the shelf liner trick.
We still have, I mean...
We have to talk about...
to do radio setup still.
Toilet wine.
Oh, we've already talked about toilet wine and we haven't even got to radio setup
We
yet.
only mentioned it. We didn't really talk about how it's made. Do you know how it's made, camera crew?
Yeah, we watch the show all the time. We've never done toilet wine on how it's made.
Oh, yeah. How it's made.
They talk about lots of other weird stuff.
Tonight on How It's Made, we'll teach you how to make toilet wine while you spend your years toiling away and suffering. You'll suffer less after this one.
Final wiring. We're
They
done.
have some stupid quip. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Quip.
Quip?
Yeah, quip. That's the
It's like
word.
the first time you ever used that word.
Nah, it's, it's a thing. It's an actual word.
We're on to radio
It's like
setup.
boskage.
I know what quip is. It's just not a word you use.
Well, I drop a nut.
It's done.
Yeah, but guys, look. We can put these toward the house budget.
Good.
So we can build the house out of the screws that are left over. Oh, that was terrible. Look, here it is. Should we take a smiley picture and pretend like it didn't suck, donkey? Donkey members. That wasn't terrible. Except it was kind of pretty terrible. Okay, guys.
It was not that terrible.
Let's just put it like it was. Why is China selling us things that we have to build? I get assembling stuff. I get putting a few, miscellaneous parts together. I'm obviously mounting wings, the occasional decal, things like that. That all makes sense. But that is straight up manufacturing.
Did you want that to show up in a box on your doorstep that big? It would cost you $27,000 to ship it.
Okay, well, thanks for playing the devil's advocate, because the truth is they could still have built many of those components and it could have been a third as many steps. You remember when we complained about the Apache?
Yeah.
From our Sierra? Do you remember?
Yeah, but the Apache is a little teeny tiny.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. There was like 400 screws on that. That was really annoying, okay? But the truth is, I don't know if it's just an American thing or if it's just a Brian Phillips RC kind of thing, but I will tell you that, my patience for builds has changed over the years. It's gotten worse.
But you could be an anomaly.
I'm not an anomaly. I'm not an anomaly. I am the rule, not the exception to the rule. There's like 14 guys out there out of the 4,700 that buy this that are going to be like, man, I love that build. Gave me some deep satisfaction. What? That's their voice. Okay? All right, so now we turn it on. You have to reach back here because in all the vast intelligence and that went into designing this, the power switch was on the back. It does have pretty good English considering it's Chinese. Okay, so now let's see what happens when I move things. Whoa, channel 2, whoa, 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 whoa. Watch this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now watch this, guys, watch this. Whoa, oh, hold on. Whoa, whoa. How do I see all the channels? I can't see all the channels. Let's see how do I do it? Let's do page down. Oh, wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This would be if you had that thing. It would be there. Telemetry. Whoa. Amazing. Wow. Okay. So let's go to MDL. Then let's go, whoa, what's that? Whoa, you can change it to another picture. I like the A10. Okay, internal trainer. Okay, external RF. Ooh, external RF, baby. Look at that. S-Bus. Whoa, whoa, DSM2. Whoa! I want to see how that works. Okay.
5 minutes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I just want to see if I can bind it to real flight. So we'll pause for a sec. Okay, so we're not going to get into too much depth, but we're going to press and hold this button while we plug it in, and it's going to go into bind mode. So we're going to do that. Camera crew's going to do that while I get in bind mode out there.
Okay, so I'm going to push the button on this while I put it in the little USB drive, and it's flashing, so it's in bind mode.
Okay, so it's in bind mode, but I'm already hit bind. So you have to press and hold that button the whole time until it's done.
It's flashing.
Okay, well, I don't know if it worked because, ooh, DSMP. We'll try that. Bind. We'll see if it goes. We'll see if it goes.
Is it that thing that's beeping?
Yeah, this thing is beeping. I mean, you act like I should know. Okay, so I don't know if it bound or not.
Nope, it's still fast flashing, so
Okay,
it's not bound.
so that didn't do it, that I can tell. So I'm going back to DSM2. I'm gonna hit bind.
Okay, still fast flashing.
Okay, ID is unique. I'm gonna call ID 1.
Okay,
Okay,
still fast.
okay. So I hit bind. And we're gonna see if it works. And there it doesn't appear to be any activity.
Nope, still fast flashing.
Okay, so what that tells me is that we have to do some more research to figure out how to make this work. Because my hope was we could show this on a simulator right away, but we're not gonna be able to show that and our battery's about to die. So you have to wait, AKA I have to wait. Bye. All right, so welcome back. It's a couple days later, but just so you know, full disclosure, we did have a problem with this simulator. It's not on the counter, it's in front of the TV. We've got a laptop that's hooked up to the TV so we could get high fidelity imaging so you can see. It's nothing special, but we're just running an HDMI computer cable between our monitor cable between our laptop and the TV. We could actually cast it and it worked, but it was just the latency made it look kind of crappy and we wanted it to look best for you guys at home. Special thanks to Brian for this laptop. Thanks. We appreciate that still. Anyway, a friend from Null, let's just say. Anyway, we've got USB-C to USB-A. They gave us a cable that was about yay long, and it's sitting over there in our little box of goodies. And this will allow us to plug this transmitter, essentially is what it is, into our laptop. Now, we have emulated the screen. I've got a folder opened so that we have our Real Flight Evolution and our Steam Link there. My son actually has some other games that would be even better to simulate with this simulation. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna plug in this USB-A end, which is the USB-A end like this, into the USB-A input on this Lenovo ThinkPad. It's an older computer. And we're gonna take and plug into this right here, okay? Now keep in mind, if you guys wanna use DSMX, you should be able to do it, but you have to get a 4-in-1 because this is ELSR or ELRS. We're gonna talk about that for a very brief second here, but when we plug this in, camera crew come around, film this. As it plugs in, it immediately populates the screen with these information points, and it asks you, do you wanna use a USB joystick HID, USB storage, or USB serial? We're gonna go with this. It is a touch screen. That's gonna wake up the input device on the computer, okay? So I don't know if you heard that, it should have chimed, but I'm gonna show you again just in case you didn't. Unplug this. You hear the Windows noise, we're going through the surround sound on it, so hopefully it picks up okay. Plug it back in. Every time you plug this in, you'll have to do this, okay? Choose that, because there's gonna be other applications you might use this for in FPV tracking, head tracking, and so on and so forth. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our mouse and jump over to Real Flight, which is already running, and we have an error. Please connect a Real Flight controller device on Windows. I think we can hit retry, and you might wanna pan away for just a second. At the end of the day, it seems like it already found it. So camera crew over here while it's loading. My objective with this system is to use it as a simulator. And my vision for it was to use it like this, okay? We have a production helper here today. He is going to be part of this video because he's gonna help me operate Real Flight. He's much more well-versed in it, Real Flight. I still firmly believe that Real Flight is not a game, it is a tool. So if you're gonna use Microsoft Flight Simulator or what's the other?
DCS.
DCS would be another good one. This would be a great tool for it. This is the first time I would be sitting on it. But before we jump into that, you can see we have Real Flight pulled up. The camera crew's assistant is going to switch to an FPV view because obviously at this point, sitting on the controls, you can see the ailerons move just like they would on a real plane. And you can see that as I rest my feet on the pedals, you can see the rudder moving. And it is correct in orientation. Camera crew, you wanna switch sides there? You can see that the throttle actuates the throttle. Okay, so real quick, we'll do a quick sorties here. Okay, so we're in the air. A little bit of cross control there. And as you can see, it does fly similar to what you might expect in a normal flight environment. But I will tell you this, because you're not sitting in the seat, the controls feel very out of control and wonkadelic because we spend a lifetime learning how to use this, and now we go to this. Now, of course, if that's your objective, from a first person perspective, it's gonna make much better sense. So we're gonna take a minute and switch that while our production assistant is switching. All right, so we went through this entire process. This tool is supposed to be used to be able to fly aircraft. And I'm not really sure why, because it's very awkward to learn a control system with your thumbs and then completely switch to a stick and throttle. But there's somebody out there that wants to do it. If you want to do that, Sterling Kit sent us a bunch of these, which are ELRS receivers, okay? They're designed to interface to a flight controller. They're not a receiver. Well, they are a receiver, but that's really all they do. Then this interfaces to a flight controller, which then controls all the flight surfaces, like servos in an airplane. Or in a helicopter, there is sort of a go-between that is a receiver, and this would hypothetically replace it. I don't know ELRS. If you guys want to learn about it, just watch Joshua Bardwell on YouTube. He's really good. He's got amazing footage. He's been doing it for years. He's prolific in the FPV drone arena, and he knows all this stuff. I don't, okay? Could I figure out how to build this little thing and set up the antenna? Which, by the way, the answer is yeah, probably. But am I gonna do that for one item? No. I'm not gonna learn an entire protocol for one item. There's people that do this all the time for every FPV drone they have, and they know tons of stuff about it. This is a 2.4 gigahertz setup. That's why the antenna is small. If it was a big one, it would be a 900 megahertz, not gigahertz. So 2.4 gigahertz, similar to what we do for DSMX, Futaba, which are the two big protocols that people use in RC. People that are doing FPV drones a lot of times use ELRS because basically it's Express Long Range System. People call it Express LRS. And I believe that the protocol that's operating in the background is actually Crossfire because there's a Lua program that's running on the actual transmitter. It's all open source. You can do all sorts of cool things with it if you're into doing that sort of thing. I'm not into doing that sort of thing. It's a lot of work. It's very challenging to enter that arena, but it's also cheaper than some of the stuff we show on this channel. because we use DSMX, we work with Spectrum stuff. Why do we recommend Spectrum? Because it's easy to enter the arena. And our main focus on this channel is to bring people back to the hobby, not confuse them right out the door. Now, Joshua, you're doing a great job. I'm not saying that you're confusing. You do a great job of taking this huge plethora of information and sorting it down to a small amount. I do a good job of taking a small amount and expanding it into confusion, okay? So Joshua, you pick up the reins on that. If people need a 4-in-1, you can actually put a 4-in-1 on this module, okay? You can see the T28 in the background. We've set that up. And if you guys didn't already know this, that 4-in-1 will go in here, but that's an external. It's called an external thing. So it's got a little 5-pin plug. You plug it in, then there'll be another antenna set or an antenna. There's dual protocol, or rather dual band, that will be 900 megahertz and 2.4 gigahertz in the ELRS arena, but we'd be dealing with instead DSMX or SRXL2 or SRXL. I think I'm saying that in the right order. But anyway, I work with like 5 protocols. There's another 4 or 5 on the market that are oftentimes used. But because I don't do a lot of FPV drone stuff and FPV in general, I don't know all that stuff. So just bear with me, guys, okay? So I had to do a lot of research just to be able to regurgitate those things, okay? So thank you, Joshua. You helped me to make it through, and I barely did. So here's the instructions. They talk about the setup menu. They do show this little tiny helpful bit if you use that thing, okay? Then they tell you how to set up some default mode. It's pretty much garbage and not enough help. So Wolfbush, if you want people to use this to fly aircraft, you're gonna have to make it easier for the average Joe. Now, if you're talking to a bunch of drone aficionados, I completely take it back, because the drone guys will be very used to this sort of thing and they can probably do it. But guys like me that fly airplanes, VTOLs occasionally, and helicopters, or boats, cars, trucks, that sort of stuff, we fly those in DSMR or DSMX or DSM2 or DSM. And then occasionally we have a Futaba, occasionally we have an FR Sky, occasionally we have an open source TX that is included and ready to fly. So if you guys are overwhelmed by the amount of information that just regurgitated from my mouth, believe me, that is quite literally the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. You could spend 15 hours today, right now, just getting the stuff I looked over and watching it. Okay, getting back to the point. So my objective principally was to fly like this on a simulator. First person viewpoint on real flight is okay. It's not great. There's better games, there's better visuals, but this is what we have available on this particular laptop. So we're gonna show you working on this one. But in order to show you how this works, we wanna show you how it works, meaning how to set it up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you this screen right here. You see how it says channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5? You can see that there's movement as my feet move on channel 4 or on channel 2, the elevator. Now, forgive the flashing of the roadway here. If you could show the screen and my hand at the same time, you see this here? It's moving the elevator, it's moving the ailerons, it's moving the rudder, it's moving the throttle. And I'm gonna push down on this one switch, and as you can see, we have some flaps deployed. And so as I ride the rudder, whoa, 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 I'm stalling it. I gotta get into the throttle, okay? So as you can see, we're in a chase cam so that you guys get to enjoy the very real experience of flying in this real flight environment. But as you can see, full speed ahead. This is one way you could enjoy this product and actually get the most out of it if this is what you want to do. Of course, I'm gonna be frank with you. I like the way that this sits. I thought I was gonna be way too big for it. I like the way that it works on the screen, but I don't like any of this OpenTX learning curve, it is going to disqualify 95% of the people that might be interested in a product like this, because they're going to be newbies and they're going to think this will make it easier to fly. Okay, camera crew or assistant, let's switch to, just go to the first person view or the regular view, okay? So maybe just like reset it. We're gonna reset, it's gonna screw up the camera for a second. But what's gonna happen is, I just wanna demonstrate for you how much more different this is. Okay, sorry, my throttle was up. Can you reset? Oh wait, did we reset? Yes, we did. Thank you. So we're gonna reset. I just wanna point out something. When I move the controls, I've spent 11 years learning to fly like this, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm not an expert, but I'm good at it, okay? I'm gonna just show you, flying like this, it's a whole new thing, guys. Look at this, okay? So I'm gonna put the gear up, put the gear on this momentary push button. Now I'm gonna come out of the flaps, and I'm just gonna fly this. I like flying in a third person viewpoint. This is the way I like to fly. I don't like to necessarily fly with a stick between my legs and a throttle on my hands. I like flying with a radio control. Some people think it would be fun to do this, and I think that there's a time and place for it, but I will tell you this, it is not as easy as it looks to transition. Sure, I have some comprehension of exactly how to do this. Can I actually execute it? Certainly not flawlessly. It is kind of fun. But at the end of the day, is this what I want from a flying experience? I guess the answer is gonna be, do you like this? And I think the biggest flaw, the fatal flaw in this setup is the OpenTX without having a multi-protocol adapter included. Because there's gonna be a vast majority of us that are flying on DSMX or some other protocol that are not gonna be able to tap into the external options. So you'll have to spend another 50 to 100 bucks roughly. You can spend a little bit less and get a really cheap Chinese knockoff. I think for about 35, you can get them on Banggood. But at the end of the day, you put that multi-protocol in and then you could actually fly a plane. But you can see that is not a very good performance in terms of flying. It's not because this is bad, it's because I don't know how to do this and convert it in my brain to what's happening on the screen. Whereas if I were to take a controller, I could fly it around and do all sorts of stuff. Because I fly third person. This is the way I fly. I like it. I like feeling like a spectator in the crowd and seeing this Super Tucano fly by at like 100 miles an hour and have presence. I love it. The idea of being inside of the plane is really indifferent to me with regard to RC. Now, do I want to fly real planes? Yes. Do I think this will be a good tool for practicing that? Absolutely. But it's not flying a Sterling kit offered helicopter from Flywing. I just don't see any value in that, except for a high probability of having a mistake or a crash. Now, because they all auto level and we have so many good GPS heli drones, I feel like you could maybe get away with it. But do you want to give up your receiver and flight system and have to literally unwire and disconnect and pull these modules out every time you want to flip between flying it normally and flying it with this? The answer from me is heck no. Not just no, but heck no. If you're always going to fly it like this, are you going to pack this up and put it in the back of your trunk and bring it to the flight field? I don't think most people will be willing to do that. This is a lot of assembly to take apart. You can take the seat off with the set screws. You can pull it apart and then it would sort of pack into itself. So maybe it packs a little better than some of the other table mounted gear that you can buy. Which, by the way, we have a lot of it. I mean, we have tons of pedals. We have great yokes. We have force feedback steering wheels. We have the expensive stuff. And it's very good. But it's also not designed to run a radio controlled car. It's designed to hook into an HD, what do they call this? HID, human interface device, so HID, okay? So getting back to the point, the one thing we haven't showed is the setup. So let's go ahead and show them the setup. So when you get this thing first hooked up, oh, by the way, let's look right here while he's getting that pulled up on the screen. We had a problem right here on this throttle. This little adapter that goes between the potentiometer and the actual input device, this lever, it was loose, and therefore this was spinning free, and this was in the wrong position. And so our throttle did not manipulate the actual throttle. It was as though it was a singular switch, okay? So once we fixed that, it worked fine. So we're gonna go back into real flight, go back to real flight, and then click on setup. Okay, so we're gonna go to settings, we hit escape, we pop up settings, then we go to controller, and then we go to controller configuration, and then this is called the F16 joystick, and we're gonna go to edit. From here, you can see that we have assigned, camera crew, we have assigned the different control channels. Okay, that's a momentary push button. We have assigned all these things to do different functions. So let's give them an example of the throttle. Click on throttle, assign it, and then it knows where the throttle is. Now, let's switch the elevator and throttle just as a mistake. Okay, camera crew? The elevator is here. So now go ahead and do it again. I'm gonna accidentally assign it to the throttle. Now, when I move the elevator, nothing happens, okay? Go ahead and click on throttle for me. Now I'm gonna accidentally assign that to the elevator. Now these are reversed. It's just like if you had a handheld transmitter. This thing is a transmitter, but there's no gimbals. These are your gimbals now, okay? So go ahead and go back to elevator, click, actuate the elevator. Now go to throttle, click, and actuate the throttle. It's really that simple. The problem is, and this is true for anybody using any real flight experience, is when you start getting into the smoke gear, the flaps, and the mode, it gets just weird because you've got, like a knob here, and you'll notice that the knob appears to be a full movement. Look at that, change that, see if it's proportional. Let's see if we can go to a tri-state and see what happens. See that? It doesn't seem to be okay with it, but look, this knob is clearly not giving us the correct output. Switch it back to proportional. Look at this. It's all on or all off. That is incorrect, okay? Now, how do we know that? We would have to go in here and change settings, okay? Because this thing moving should give us discrete output, and it's not giving us discrete output. So in order to play with that, you're gonna have to go into channel monitor, and you're gonna have to look and see what's happening. That's the same thing we had to do when throttle wasn't moving all the way, is we had to figure out that this was mechanically disconnected from the trim pot before we could revive it to normal operation. I'll be honest with you though, guys, like if you look at this, you can see these things switching. It's a 3-state, there's no problem there. And you can see the pulse width modulation, 988 microseconds, 1500 microseconds, 2021, whatever it is. And then you can see that one switching. That one's switching with the button. So as you can tell, now why is this one not moving? I can't see. I'm not sure if there's like maybe another monitor that I can see or if it's just not assigned to do anything, because right now that aux5 is not showing up on the screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just click here. There you go. There's aux5. So you can see that aux5 is actually changing. When I move the knob, it's changing, okay? And then it looks like that's all of them. By the way, one other thing we were talking about, and this is a big point of complaint. There is no trigger on this joystick. I want a trigger if I'm gonna have a simulator that I could potentially have a freaking jet with a freaking gun. I want a freaking gun trigger. Even though in real life, there's not always a trigger. But there's a lot of times a trigger, because the trigger is what you use to turn on your headset so you can talk to the tower. So why do we not have a trigger? After all this, you leave out a trigger. So anyway, just a few sort of strange decision-making points. These dampeners do work pretty good. You can adjust the dampening effects, and they do dampen the bounce back, okay? So it's nice in that regard, but like this one's the worst because it's so long, okay? Because it's so long, it does definitely need more dampening. than something like this. Like you may not want any dampening on this, and all you have to do is just turn this knob. It says plus and minus. Minus would be all the way back here, and then there's like almost no movement dampening. Okay, and then if you turn it all the way up, then you'll have just a little bit more dampening. It just adds a tiny little bit of resistance. Let's call it like a 2% resistance. It's hardly any difference. But on this, it does seem to actually help a little bit in terms of making the stick like more realistic feeling, okay? The other thing too is, and this is from a guy that's about 6'1" to 6'2" and about 285 pounds. I'm not skinny, okay? I fit on here pretty good. Like I thought it was gonna be way too small. It's not bad, but this cushion is not super comfortable, and that could be resolved in a bunch of different ways. Namely, you could take this chair off. Why don't you sit on there and just show them how you sit, because you're a little bit taller than me. Do you feel like it's in an all right spot?
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable.
It's comfortable. So if you were super short, you may need to manipulate the positioning of this base. You can do that. You have plenty of cable. Don't wrap your feet onto the cable and damage them. That's the other thing too. If you have shoes on, you see where these cables are. They're right here. We're bare feet, so this is no problem, but that is right there. And if you're gonna have a bunch of people, you know, jumping on here to do a demo, you don't want them to cut the cables that are going between the potentiometers back to your receiver, especially if you're flying, okay? So hopefully this answers most of your questions about this system. Is this system the end-all cure-all? I think it's pretty obvious where I'm coming from on this particular product. Do I want to take anything away from people that love flying FPV? I don't mean it in my heart or my spirit anywhere. It's just that I don't do it. So that doesn't mean it's not valuable and it's not cool and it's not got some really cool, neat. We do have FPV tracking. We do have Oculus. We use these things. It would be really cool to be able to move your head around. The truth is, it's really hard to film that. It's hard to experience it because being able to look around a cockpit and see all the switches in DCS would be really cool. But then how do you manipulate the switches? You've got no machine interface here. So you'd still be ultimately coming back to having some sort of keyboard interface. So at the end of the day, how far do you want to go with your simulation? The answer is as far as you want to blow money. I will say this, I think that this is probably one of the most impractical things we've ever reviewed on this channel, and we have reviewed a lot of impractical things. If it's what you love, then keep loving it and get one from the links in the video description below. If you want to control an aircraft with this, I wish you the best luck. It's gonna be hard, okay? Because having channel monitors and having all the features that they built into this, it is going to take days, if not weeks, for the average Joe, and I am firmly in the average Joe category, to be able to get this working. Once you get it working, it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna work fine. And I think it's gonna basically help you command a plane. But you better set up a trainer, because as soon as something goes wrong with this, you're gonna be crashing and you're gonna be hamstrung here. So I think of the numerous times that I have had to physically run after a plane to regain signal or some stupid thing, or like figure out where it's crashing or where it's gonna be when it crashes. And I think about just sitting here, and then I think about having an FPV set on and a head tracker. And I'm just thinking of all the numerous different things that could go wrong. And I just think, for me, the effort to fun ratio goes completely out the window. I think this would be an awesome tool if you want to use a simulator on a computer. It's going to be super cool. Are there cheaper options? A lot cheaper. Are they better? Oh yeah, a lot better. Are they available right now? Yep. So if that doesn't answer your question, I don't know how else to answer it, because here on Brian Phillips RC, we tell the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. And we do care about your opinion. We care about your bottom dollar. We care about the things you're picking because of our advice. And I am scared to death that somebody is gonna think that I'm saying this is the best thing since sliced bread. Is it cool? Sure. Is it neat? Maybe. Is it what I want? I think it misses the mark so bad on some stuff, namely the protocol. Because I don't have time to learn a whole new protocol. You might, or you might already know it. So if you know it, you're gonna have that handicap taken right off. But as a returning brand new pilot, could I encourage somebody to do this? Are you kidding me? No. As somebody that's very experienced, that maybe wants to incorporate some fun into their flight experience, I think you could do something really cool with it. But you're gonna be looking at 3 or 4 days of setup just to get the first one going.
I have a question probably for a production assistant. Can you use the stuff that you have on real flight?
Yes.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are HIDs. They're just human, yeah, they're USB. So they could also be incorporated with this. So like if you didn't like this throttle is gonna be part of this HID, but you could have another HID, but not on this device, not on real flight. You're not gonna be able to have 2 HIDs on one device.
Probably not.
You have to have it through one device. But on other games, you can have multiple HIDs.
Okay.
So human interface devices, like you could have your throttle, you could have your force feedback steering wheel, you could have your fixed pedals, your trifecta pedals, you know, that sort of stuff. So at the end of the day, there are many, many, many ways to skin this cat that are easier, more cost effective, and less frustrating. And you guys didn't see all the off camera for this one. It was bad, okay? So the build went relatively smooth. It was just tedious. You can get past that. But does it do what it says it does? Technically, if you know how to do it, it does what it says it does, okay? But the FPV part, the actual feed into this from your FPV gear, using this screen, are you seriously gonna use this screen for FPV? I doubt it highly, but you could actually use this. There's buttons on it. It's extremely hard to read these because the white backlight makes, I can't see what any of these buttons say.
Read them.
I can't, I'm in person in real life. We have we have like 14 lights on right now, and I can't read a single key because it washes your vision black on black, just like the Spectrum chargers, okay? So they need to silk screen these buttons if they're expected to be able to read them as a pilot. So like I said, it's like death by 100 cuts or 1,000 cuts or whatever they say, okay? This isn't bad. It's just that you have to really want it to make it work, okay? And by the way, if somebody delivered this to my front step and said, hey, it's set up, come out and enjoy it, sure, it'd be fun. I would love that. That'd be a neat experience. And I think what makes better sense for us applicationally is if we get the damn gift shop built and we have a place where this is set up and we have a computer monitor that is dedicated to a computer that is dedicated to this and possibly a few other simulators that you could slide over and use for driving a car and then maybe mud bogging. And then you've got this one that's for a boat, and you've got this one that's for, you know, a helicopter, and then you've got this one for an airplane. Biggest complaint, if this is designed to work with a helicopter, where's the collective? We have the cyclic, and it's pretty good as a cyclic, but you have no collective. I want a collective. I want an e-brake style, moving up and down. They could offer that, but they didn't on this one, okay? I want a collective, I want a swivel for throttle, and I want a collective, and I want to be able to assign those, and I want buttons on the end, you know? So the closer we get this to a helicopter, I think the better it's gonna be for what I wanted out of it, but it's also gonna work for airplanes or helicopters as it's configured, okay? So lots of flexibility that I didn't want to have to make this work, okay? And lots of learning to be able to navigate through the menu structures that I don't have time for, okay? So it's a perfect storm of wrong solution to the wrong problem at the wrong time, right? Wouldn't you say? So if you love this and you want to get one, get it from the links in the video description below. Thanks to Sterling Kip for working with us. I think it is well built. It is very heavy duty. It seems nice. but I just think it just misses the mark on what I wanted out of it. So if it doesn't miss the mark for you, then get one. That all being understood, everybody is at a different spot, making different RC decisions for different reasons. And for us, I love flying planes and I love watching them out there. I don't want to do the first person view. That is not my thing. We've done it a number of times and it's very cool. In fact, we've got a product coming right now that's going to be super cool, and it's going to be FPV head tracking, and it's going to be very neat. We can't wait to share it. But it also comes out of the package working.
Yeah.
This does not come out of the package doing anything.
Yep.
It comes out of the package flopping on the ground like a fish. And I'm like, I have to make a filet mignon out of that? It's a fish. That isn't going to happen, okay? So that's the scenario. And that was actually a really good analogy of exactly how this project went. Make the fish into the filet mignon and you will be satisfied. So Jesus, if you're listening, turn this water into wine. Guys, that's the full truth. If you like this flavor of water, get it from the links. I mean, that's it. That is the best I can do. If we ever figure out how to get the ELSR RS
Yes.
232 485. If we ever get that working, we'll let you know. Don't hold your breath. Stay tuned. Oh, by the way, other ways to support us if you don't want to buy this thing because it's so awesome. Super thanks, YouTube members. Thanks for being members. Patreon, if you were members and you stopped being members because we weren't active, just remember what we're active on is YouTube. And Patreon is just a conduit by which you can support us. If you don't want to do it, we completely understand. YouTube members is fine. Patreon is a little bit cheaper for us. They keep like 18% at Patreon. They keep like 30% at YouTube, in case you're curious about these things. And then PayPal, if you want us to keep 100% friends and family. That is the way it works, unless you're overseas and then there's some transaction fees. But at the end of the day, I say this every time and we want you to hear it loud and clear. We don't want you to send money just because you want to send money because you think, hey, keep up the good work, Brian. We want you to be in the hobby with us because at the end of the day, we're not going to take a substandard solution to a problem that didn't exist and then cram it down your throat like it's the best thing since sliced bread. But we are going to take a Super Tucano that China Hobby Lines released that came out and is nearly a perfect plane, and we're going to say how awesome it is. Okay? Or a sweet Airbus A330, 320, sorry, thank you, that's chilling here that has no thrust reverse, even though it has thrust reverse. And we'll tell you that. And we're going to take this cabin sailplane that, ironically enough, is sort of a stinky sailplane, and yet I find myself flying it all the time because it just really flies good. And yet it's not that good. We will tell you the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. And that's why we have big horns in our entryway and erratics and helicopters surrounding us because I love this hobby and I care about you. And there's a lot of people online that just want to sell crap. We do want to sell crap, but we care more about you than we do about selling this thing, okay? All right, hopefully you hear our heart and you understand and appreciate it. So stay tuned. There is so much more right around the corner and I can't wait to get to it because I'm done with this. Thanks for watching.